Hi, my name is Raph. I am playing Grinner, a barbarian human, running from his past as an ex-soldier, now turned mercenary.
Hey everyone, I'm Jared. I'm playing the character of Luther. He's a Dhampir. He is a fighter that specializes in firearms, a bit of an investigator, and I am the great uncle of Grinner.
Hi, I'm Jacob. I'm playing Tithla, the Goblin Ranger. She is a wonderful hunter and medical genius.
Hi, I'm Haz. I'm playing Theodore, the Satyr Druid, who's a kind of a charismatic druid who's unwillingly taken Tithla under his wing as she's followed him through the forest for the past few months.
G'day, I'm Tom. I'm playing Jonor, the Aasimar Wizard. He is on the pursuit of good and evil, finding out the best and worst in this world, and he's doing that with a little bit of naivety and optimism.
And I'm Owen, the Dungeon Master of our Curse of Strahd campaign. Hello! Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Lost Archives. We are playing Curse of Strahd tonight. We are very, very excited to be jumping back in. Before we do, however, we've got a few little announcements to share. First off, thank you everybody who joined us for our Grounded stream on Saturday. We progressed a little bit further in Grounded, really enjoying playing that game. I didn't have expectations. I think I was sort of like, oh yeah, looks like fun. It's really, really fun. Thoroughly enjoying it. So yeah, definitely recommend if you feel free to come join us on the Saturday morning. We're going to keep playing Grounded until we either die and I rage quit or we finish the game. Whichever comes first. Also, thank you everybody who joined us for our very first session of Return of the Giants on Wednesday night. That was really lovely having so many of you come and join us in the stream. It was so awesome that you were all there in chat. And thank you everybody who's been watching that on YouTube and on the podcasts. I'm really grateful for all the views and the likes. They really help the channel out. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. And yeah, thank you for really enjoying Return of the Giants. Clearly this is something that you guys really wanted to see, so that's great news. We're going to keep making it, thank God. But yeah, that's awesome. So thank you for all the support for Return of the Giants. We're very excited to be doing this original story and running that campaign, so really appreciate it. But tonight we're playing the premiere horror campaign, Curse of Strahd. Now, for those of you who are watching on Twitch and on YouTube, you will see that one of our players, Jacob, he's not here tonight. Unfortunately, he was not able to make it in time, so I will be taking over control of Tithla for this session. I feel like it's a little bit of a cursed chalice, given that Tithla is suffering from horrendous injuries left over from the last session and is very close to death. So thank you, Jacob, for handing me a loaded gun.
Strap it to the bear.
Yeah, just strap it to the bear. Thank you for that. And now if Tithla does die, he's going to be like, well, it's your fault, mate. If I gave you Tithla in perfect health, then what happened? What went on? What's this? Yeah. I didn't do a condition.
That's all.
I didn't do an entry report for Tithla, so maybe I should do a condition entry report. Is fucked. I think that'll cover it, right? Like, or like horrifically burned. Yeah, that should cover it. But yeah, so we'll do a full recap. We had a bit of a false start to the stream. I'm tempted to put at the very end a little bit of the commentary, which was just us, Tom, Haz, and I just chatting about our favourite high school stories and the lies that our peers and classmates perpetuated for years to try and convince us of something that to this day we don't know whether or not is a lie. So I said they're perpetuating a lie, but we actually don't know. And that's a really successful misinformation campaign that we can't prove as misinformation. So I might chuck that as a little bonus behind the scenes at the end because it's quite a funny story. So yeah, I might chuck that up at the end. Alrighty, does anyone else have any fun news to share or any cool D&D stories or RPG stories or anything fun to share? Don't feel any pressure. If you don't, we will jump straight back into the session.
I'm feeling a little pressured.
Oh, total.
I mean, like, the only thing happening to me in 2 weeks to this day is I'll be in surgery. So
You've got your second, third, or fourth knee surgery now. How many have you had?
So I've had an ACL reconstruction.
Yeah.
Then I'm having my MCL repaired. So I don't know what it's going to look like, but that will be happening 2 weeks from now on this day. So this will be my second last session, at least for a couple of weeks.
Yeah, so we'll have a guest character come in to cover for Curse of Strahd while Jared's out, and also for Return of the Giants. So I'll bring a guest character in for both of those.
coming back as Warforged from the sounds of things.
Oh man, I'm actually thinking of like inserting into like my new character on the Wednesday night with like a prosthetic leg or something too.
Yeah,
Like,
because there are
something
arcane
to do with
prosthetics.
with this piece of shit knee.
What'd you do to
Yeah.
it?
Oh, when I was way younger, I used to play basketball like really like at a high level, and someone just took me out in midair one day and resulted in tearing my ACL, and that just was been a downward slope ever since.
Yeah, that's rough.
It's never gone well since that day, basically.
Kyle, I remember him.
Oh, Kyle.
Kyle.
All right, don't worry. One of the town guards tonight's going to be Kyle. You can get some retrospective payback and just murder this dude,
Yeah, I'm gonna do it.
or just shatter his
Count
knee.
Guards has never gone poorly for a party.
All right. One of the Vistani is going to be called Kyle. You can enjoy that.
Oh, I can get behind that.
Not gypsies are very, very easy to murder.
Then exactly, they're Vistani, so
Yeah.
not a problem at all. Excuse me. Just caught that cough in time. Alrighty, let me do our recap, and we will jump into the session. The newest team of the Tempest Adventuring Guild have found themselves lost in a strange land, following a request to investigate some mysterious disappearances. Exploring a manor in the ruined town of Dowbridge, the group have faced ghosts, ghouls, and banshees, and in the process of disrupting a cursed magic ritual, have now been pulled through a tear in space to the demi-plane of Barovia. Travelling to the nearby town, the group were met by a Barovian man who introduced himself as Ismark, son of the recently deceased village burgomaster. Ismark soon introduced the group to his sister Irina, and revealed that they planned to head to the nearby town of Vallaki, fearing they might befall the same fate as their father. Travelling the road between the towns of Barovia and Vallaki, the group have survived their first night in the wilds. During the night, the group met an old hunter, Damien, who taught Tithla how to make arrows and had some good chats with the party. Setting off again soon after dawn, the group continued toward Vallaki, but when the countryside suddenly turned from overgrown woodlands into large fields of golden wheat, the party decided on a small detour. Winding through the wheat fields, a well-maintained cobble path led towards a large windmill standing alone on the hillside. Entering inside, the group met with Effie and Bella, bakers of the delicious dream pastries they had bought from Morgan only a few days earlier. After taking a tour of the kitchen and enjoying some delicious dream pastries, the group began to grow a little suspicious. While Bella took Grinner and Theodore downstairs to explore the under kitchen, Jonor tried to read Effie's mind. This backfired, Effie turning the tables on Jonor after sensing his spell, and Bella charming Grinner and trying to convince Theodore to help her cut Grinner into meat slices for a pie. Making matters worse. Oh yeah?
Oh no, yum.
Yum.
Yeah,
Yum,
what
yum,
do you
yum.
mean making matters worse? That was great.
Making matters worse, Morgan arrived back at the windmill, right as the hags revealed their true monstrous forms. A tense battle broke out, resulting in Tithla taking a terrible burn injury from the animated oven, and the rest of the group scrabbling to hold off the hags' attacks. Just as all hope seemed lost, Damien reappeared and used a lantern marked with strange glyphs to hold the hags back while the group escaped. Looking back, they could see hordes of undead rising from the ground around the windmill, the illusionary magic creating this beautiful, pristine farmland now disrupted, and some very interesting, intense magical energy now emanating from the top of the windmill. Heading down the road and towards the forests along the border, the group have decided to bring Damien with them, who has agreed to lead them through a shortcut through the woods towards the town of Vallaki. And that's where we left off last session. As Damien leads you towards the woodlands, these are a little bit different to the woodland area and forest area that you had explored before. The trees seem less densely clustered here, as if being further away from the town of Barovia and further away from Strahd's castle has sort of allowed these trees to grow a bit more normally. This looks like a very densely overgrown forest, but doesn't have that same oppressive feel, that sense of being watched that the other areas of woodland that you've walked through before have done. No roots rise from the ground attempting to trip you. In fact, the pathway is fairly clear. Small patches of fern dot the otherwise leaf-littered dirt soil, and the path through the trees is actually fairly clear. As Damien leads you across and through the forests, it only takes about an hour of very mild, light sort of walking to emerge back onto the main road, seemingly having skipped a large portion of your potential journey. As you get to the edge of the forests and step out onto the cobbled road once again, you can see through a break in the trees a vast expanse of water over towards the north. As you look out across it, Ismark gives a bit of a start. Oh, I think that's Lake Zarovich. I think that was... He sort of turns towards Damien. That was quite some shortcut, Damien. Yes, well, I try to be of assistance. Tithla ignores that, sitting on the back of Theodore. Or is Theodore still in...
Has it been more than an hour since the windmill?
Yeah, it took about an hour to walk through the forest.
Then,
so about partway through the forest...
I would have swapped back and she's back to walking.
Tithla's just like clinging to your back and then climbs down very like reluctantly and begins walking, looking very hurt. The burns across her body, that lovely emerald green skin, now pockmarked with areas of angry red and purple blotches where the fire damage has burned through the upper layers of her skin, revealing the underdermal layers. Tithla winces every time she takes a step and looks very much worse for wear. As you guys continue down the road, was there anything you wanted to do, to say, or just try and get to Vallaki as quickly as possible? At this point, it's probably about 3 to 4 o'clock in the afternoon. The sun hasn't fully set, but it is already starting to set. The sun seems to rise late and set early in Barovia, almost as if the land is in a perpetual state of winter sun cycle. The sun, setting quite late and rising setting quite early and rising quite late. The cloud cover making it very hard to determine exactly where the sun is at any given point.
I think with Tithla in the shape that she is and the threat of night, probably just push right on. Would we have had time for a short rest?
Yeah, I'd say that if you want to, actually probably even now would be a good place if you want to take a short rest. I mean, you're on the side of the road. You're not too far from the village of Vallaki. If you ask Arena and Ismark, they'll very eagerly tell you, we're only maybe 2 hours, 3 hours from Vallaki. This is wonderful.
Yeah, it'd be good if we could have a quick short rest, then I can go back to bear form and carry Tithla the rest of the way.
Yeah, I actually think that's probably... I think it's a good idea. I don't think in her current form... I don't think it's actually like... Obviously from like a meta standpoint, it's obviously just characters, but like if we're actually like putting our minds in our characters and stuff, definitely like Tithla is like really like... She's
not looking good.
Honestly, in my mind, I just see half her face melted.
I mean, it's pretty bad.
Like half of that scene in the second Terminator when they show the bomb falling.
Oh, I was going to say like in Breaking Bad where Frink gets the side of his face, but it comes out and like straightens his tie and then turns and you see half his face is missing.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
It's not quite that bad, but yeah, sure, why not? It's that bad. Jacob's not here to defend it, so Jacob's not here to defend it. It's that bad. There's like an eyeball missing. Like you can see one of her goblin teeth fully exposed. No, that's not.
We got Two-Face.
As you, Two-Face. Yeah. I'm gonna flip a coin. See what your fate is. Roll a dice.
Oh no!
I'm 20-Face.
Way more unhinged than she already is. Perfect. That's great.
As well, I'd say then probably as you sort of emerge next to the lake, Damien points towards the north and goes, I know of an old picnic site just up ahead. It's the place where hunters sometimes come to dress and wash game. Perhaps there's a place here that you could rest and refill your canteens, get some fresh water if you need it.
I'd greatly appreciate that one. I need quite a rest.
Yeah.
Perfect. As you move to the north, it's only half an hour of very easy walking before you emerge at the shores of Lake Zarovich. The lake is perfectly still and dark, reflecting the dark clouds overhead almost like an enormous mirror. You can see that the surface is almost completely still. Only very infrequent waves rise and fall across its surface, despite its immense size. This lake it's massive. You can't even really see, looking to your left, the far shore towards the west. You can see just at the edge of your vision, the northern shore, But beyond that, not much else. The lake, it seems, is massive. On the other side of the lake... Oh, sorry, you go.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, continue the description. Sorry, I thought you were done.
Oh, I was going to say, on the other side of the lake, you can see forest pressing in around on all sides. In fact, looking around the border of the lake, even though there are one or two rivers seeming to feed its enormous size, there are not many open spaces or plains around this. It looks like the lake is surrounded by the same dense woodlands that you've been walking through for the past hour and a bit.
What was the name of the lake that Ismark said?
Lake Zarovich.
Is that not Strahd's last name too?
Yeah. Yep.
Do you say that?
Yeah. Is this not the name of the Lord Strahd?
Yeah, this is the family name of the conquerors who came and took these lands very, very, very long ago. The von Zarovich family. The lake was named after them.
Is that Ismark responding or Damo?
Damo. Damo, I'm trying to go for a much more lower, gravelly voice with a bit of an accent. Ismark's more of like a, yeah, so that makes sense. A bit more like upbeat.
Yeah.
Is it much of a difference? I can try.
Responding?
Yeah, Damien.
I can try and be a bit more. Is that a bit better with the...
Oh, I like that, actually.
Mr.
okay,
Demo,
I can do that.
That's fucking hot.
Who did...
Okay, son, try to calm yourself.
Okay, maybe don't do that then. It's getting him sexually aroused.
I'm gonna do some Curse of Strahd after dark.
Oh man, you should do an ASMR stream like that, Owen.
I can see you getting engorged with all of that delicious blood.
We're not saying gorge. There's no good use gorge.
What are you talking about?
Clip it, Owen.
All of that blood in such a delicious, easily approached package.
Carry on.
Right, so
Only
that's
bats are the only convenient package for blood. We established this.
Yeah, true. Yeah, that's true.
Straws.
Bats are straws.
Straws.
Hey, you want to get everything dirty? Come on.
Your
I'm not a
juice
wizard. I
box.
don't have prestidigitation.
Why not?
I'm gonna straw that shit.
Why don't you have prestidigitation?
Doesn't want to lean on me.
Yes,
Can I take a coconut with an umbrella, please?
I'm sort of like a vampire. Can you help me out? Oh yeah, sure. Why not? Here you go. Presentation, ready to go.
We just spent like 2 sessions eating people pies. Like I think you're off the hook for eating bats for a trip.
I think you're probably safe in
I
the
think I'm
company.
really safe now because if you guys ever when you do inevitably find out, it'd be like, oh, well, Raph ate like 3 children, so you're fine.
Wow, can we specify Grinner?
Grinner,
Not Raph. I just
Raph's at
feel
least 4 by now.
yeah, I feel like it's a very important distinction to make.
My bad. Apologies.
It's okay. You're not incorrect. It's just for future reference. I want to make sure that you.
Grinner has a lot of catching up to do for that
Yeah.
score. To be honest. Yeah.
Oh man, yeah, that's
Can't sell you short of the children eaten.
Exactly.
Yes, it was named after the von Zarovich family. I believe the lake was named after the family or one of the family members. I do not know if it was specifically Strahd von Zarovich.
And who did they come to conquer the land from?
The land itself, I don't think anybody remembers who the original inhabitants were.
Fair enough. All right.
Why do we only hear about Strahd then? What happened to the other fuckers?
His parents, as far as I know, never came here. His brother was here for some time, but is long dead. Now only Strahd remains.
Have you ever met this Strahd, Demo?
Fortunately, I have not had the displeasure of encountering the vampire baron.
I don't know. He seems. I've not seen him do anything particularly negative so far.
Look around you. This whole place is tainted by his mistakes and his darkness.
It
His
sounds like everybody hates
inadequacies.
Sorry, what was that, Grinner?
It sounds like everybody hates him, to be frank.
Acting as a despot for so long does not surprise me.
While this conversation is going, I'm just going to quickly set up the tripwire and stuff like that or the alarm sort of system, because we sort of are in, or maybe being, followed. Who knows? I'm not sure.
For half an hour for a short
Yeah,
rest.
just a short rest.
Or an hour for a short rest.
Yeah,
you can. Yeah, you can. I'm not gonna. You can, obviously.
It's not so much that like normally I normally probably wouldn't for a short rest, but because we're probably high alert, just got out of there. But Luther's probably scared that the hags are following. So,
True.
or at
That's
least
actually
doing
pretty fair.
So I'm gonna also,
Fair
while
enough.
this is going on, I'm also gonna be perched up in the trees and also acting as a lookout. I'm not too hurt or anything, so I'll be more of a lookout at least.
No, that sounds like a good plan to me. Yes, you take 5 minutes tops to set up the trip line with the bells. Maybe 5-6 meters away from you guys down the pathway, so at least you get a little bit of a notification if anyone's on the way.
Sounds good. Just so we're not caught by not caught off guard.
Yeah, no, perfect. As you all sit down and begin taking your short rest, all of you may benefit from your short rest. Was there anything else you wanted to ask Damien? For those of you who are just joining us or might not remember, Damien is an old hunter, humanoid-looking hunter who they met in the woods the previous night, who has just come back and helped them escape from a pretty awful fate involving some night hags. They're a little bit suspicious of Damien. They're not sure they can fully trust him, but for the moment he's proving useful, so they're keeping him around. Arena and Ismark. Oh, sorry, you go.
I was just going to say, my character is one of the few characters that actually, ironically, trust him.
Actually, the
I'm
character's
pretty
trusted.
fine.
The character's
I'm pretty
trusted,
really
the
fine.
players don't. That's the
I
distinction.
don't trust
Should
him,
make that distinction.
unfortunately. I know that there's probably something else going on with Damien. I can't say though, but my character's only had good interactions. Unfortunately, my insight rolls have not been great. So
He's a lovely man, and I will not hear a bad word spoken about him. Ismark and Arena take a seat at the side of the lake. Arena taking her shoes off and putting her feet in the dark water and having a bit of a wander around the borders of the lake, cooling off her feet and looking out across the lake, occasionally walking back to the shore, picking up a stone and skipping it across the dark waters of the lake. Ismark sort of sitting back, just lying down with his back against a tree, eyes closed, taking a bit of a break and resting and relaxing, because he did take a pretty nasty hit while you guys were in the old mill as well.
but he was
he did a lot of damage, but he also
took to him.
He took a bit of damage too.
He did so well.
Tithla heads down to the shores of the lake and starts scooping up a little bit of water and trying to sort of heal her burns a little bit. I'll roll hit dice for Jacob because he's not here, because Tithla has taken a fair bit of damage. So I'll roll some dice for Tithla just to get a bit of a heal up while you guys do anything. Did you say you wanted to talk to Ismark at all?
I might have a quick little chat with him as he's sort of sitting there, sort of sharpening his sword or talking to Irina or someone. I'm not sure. I'll sort of pop in real quick. I'll drop down from a tree. There you go, there, partner. How you feeling?
Oh, I'm feeling okay. I just I took a few hits there and just need a moment to catch my breath. You know how it is.
So
I
have a question for you. It's I don't mean to pry, but in the old village of Barovia, you said that people made fun of you, called you the lesser and such. Well,
yes.
I'll admit the proficiency that you showed with that blade. I know you were fighting a stove, but but that thing was pretty crazy, and you were you were someone else. I don't know how did you even come to be with that nickname if you are actually quite proficient.
It's not a comment on my martial prowess. It's a comment on living in my father's shadow. I mean, you think I was impressive? My father, in his heyday, was a force to be reckoned with. He was a captain of the guard before he became the mayor of Barovia, before he became the burgomaster. He was a very impressive man, a very good man that a lot of people looked up to. A successful merchant for some years, and I just never could be as successful as him. And so I thought I could distinguish myself with martial training, and I spent a fair bit of time learning what I could from the people who came through, the other adventurers and outlanders like yourselves who've traveled through. I've trained with a number of them and learned a number of techniques from each of them as they've come through, but I think you're being a bit kind. As you said, it was merely a rather large stove. All I did was hack at it with my sword, and It did move around a little bit, but it wasn't a hard target to hit by any stretch of the imagination.
I'll put my hand on his shoulder. It's almost like I'm like an old man talking to him because I am old. And even though I look young, but I look at him and go, I wouldn't count yourself out so quick. Look what that thing did to Tithla. Tifla's sure she can be annoying and such, but she does have, she's quite a martial force in her own right. So the fact that you were able to do what you did, I think you need to give yourself more credit. Don't be so hard on yourself.
Look, I thank you for your kind words. Tithla, I think, got unlucky. Her back was turned, and this thing got a very powerful strike in, and she was just unable to get out of the way in time. Almost looked like someone sort of picked her up and held her in the wood. No, it doesn't say that. She just didn't get out of the way in time and took a pretty nasty hit. I feel sorry for her. As he says that and looks over, you can see Arena has now come to check over on Tithla. And as Tithla's bathing her very nasty burns in the cool water, Arena comes over and sort of helps her a little bit. And you hear Tithla going, "Oh, it really hurts. It's actually quite painful." I'm really trying to do Jacob's voice for Tithla. I'm not doing the best job.
That's okay.
As Arena sort of looks over and goes, "It does hurt you. Just be a bit more careful. You don't want to put cold water just onto the exposed tissue. That is an infection risk. Come back to the shore and I will get some bandages and we can help bind them with the cool bandages." As Arena tries her best to kind of prevent Tithla hurting herself more. Ismark looks back to you, Luther, and goes, "The rest of you, all of you, you did very well. I'm going to be honest, I thought for a moment we were done for. My only thought was to try and get Arena out of harm's way, and then when I saw Tithla, when I saw her go down, she just reminds me a bit of Arena when Arena was her age."
Which time did you see Tithla going down? It happened a few times.
You hear that from Theodore at the back. Both. Yeah, it was fucking brutal.
Well, look, I'll be honest. It'll take a bit to kill this old fool, am I right? And I sort of I probably catch myself there as I say it because I notice I let slip something, and then I sort of just pat him on the back and it's like, "It's all right. You're young. You got heaps of potential."
He sort of gives you a bit of a look, and then goes with it. Doesn't say much more, just sort of nods, smiles, and then leans in a little bit conspiratorially. I'm going to be honest, now that we've made it to the outskirts of Vallaki, I don't really know what I'm going to do. My mission was to protect Irina and get her safely here. I think, not to be presumptuous and not to count our chickens before they've hatched, but I think we've almost done that. And as much as I'd love to stay and help guard Irina, I know that she sometimes sees me as a overprotective sibling, someone who's always there watching over her and sort of stopping her from doing her own thing. And I don't want to be that. I want to be supportive, but not a shadow that she has to get out from underneath. I know what that was like with my father. What do you think? Should I stick around with her?
Well, that's a good question. When we get you guys to Vallaki, what is Irina's what's she gonna do?
We've spoken so much about what it would be like to get away, and we've spoken so much about our plans to escape. We've never really talked that much about what we're going to do. Irina spoke for some time about trying to learn magic and trying to learn martial abilities as well. As you've seen, she's quite proficient in combat. She can keep her head and is able to think quickly on her feet, but she's not particularly skilled in the blade or the bow. And while she's got some interest in alchemy, I know she's never had a chance to really explore that. I imagine she'd want to get a better understanding about those areas, I think. Again, it's not something we've spoken about in detail. And you can see he's looking a bit embarrassed about this as you kind of asking this question, so what are you going to do?
So it sounds like Irina's planning on starting her life in Vallaki. So you could do the same. Maybe you don't have to be over her 24/7, but she can learn alchemy and other such things, and whatever passions you hold within yourself, maybe you can explore them. It sounds like the walled city sounds fairly protected from the horrors of this land, so it could be a potential place for you guys to live.
I really hope so. And I hear such good things about Vallaki. They hold regular festivals, the people there are happy, there's plenty of food, plenty of wine. I mean, it keep this between you and I, but it almost sounds too good to be true sometimes.
Well, how about this?
Let's
go there. Oh, sorry. What was that?
Just me muttering out of character. Just, don't say that. That's ominous as fuck. That only means it's bad.
No, we all know that now. Thanks, Owen. I'll look at him now and I'll say, fuck. Come to Vallaki.
Yeah, we hold festivals every day. There's plenty of food.
But I'll look at him and
lots of
how
pie.
About this? Let's get to Vallaki, see what it's all about, and then we can figure it out. We'll be there with you guys for some time before we sort of find our next adventure, I guess.
Yeah, it's true. We did not really know what we are going to do after either. We just want to get home.
Well, anything I can do to help, all of you. And he sort of speaks up a bit and turns around to the rest of you and pushes himself back up to his feet, sheaths his sword. I just want to take this moment to thank all of you, sincerely from the bottom of my heart. I don't think we would have made it without all of your incredible and valiant efforts, and I will do everything in my power to help you, even if it means marching up to the gates of Castle Ravenloft and facing off against the devil himself. If that is what we need to get you home, you have my sword.
Yes, please, if you could go do this right now, that would be very helpful.
Right now? You want me to go right now?
Right now, you head on over there. We'll get to Vallaki. We'll meet you back there after.
And what am I doing when I get there?
Asking Strahd politely to let us go.
I think that's going to go very differently to how you think that's going to go. I suspect.
Okay, we'll go to Vallaki then.
I think that's probably for the best.
How about you thank us in Vallaki? We're not actually there yet. Yeah. There's still a bit of stretch of road, so hopefully, it stays stays safe. We've had it's been a bit of a rocky trip, admittedly, with the windmill.
Yes, it was a unfortunate detour.
I look over at Grinner. I don't know what Grinner's up to at the moment, but I'll sort of be like, "Hey, Grinner, how are you feeling? What's been going on in your head?"
Pie-wise.
You look over to say that, and Grinner's actually not there. I think Grinner's gone on a walk.
Okay.
Just a short walk into the forest.
I'll probably say that, look around, be like, "Hey, where's Grinner?" Okay.
You probably would have noticed that he's smoking even more than his huge amount of usual cigarettes, as well on the just chain smoking on the way over here. And he's
actually, as I look around for Grinner, I just see butts all over.
Yeah, you would.
I imagine your cigarettes work like Legolas's arrows; they just never really run out until the ends it.
He has a minor magical item, the cigarillo case of infinite butts. So it's not a full cigarette. He only pulls out a dog ends every time.
I like to think that it's connected to another plane, so someone is smoking them.
It's just some goblin on the other plane.
Yeah. It's connected to an ashtray in some goblin's workshop back on Nostea. He's just like, this is finished. This one's shit. No one would want this, and puts it in the ashtray. And then these fingers come up and grab it, pull it down, and then Grinner's there this is that good shit. Yeah.
Oh yeah, the goblin just he has a magic emptying tray.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yep, I quite like that.
So he's not there right now. He's wandered off. You noticed probably, even though he's usually fairly stoic and not overly boisterous, he's said probably 2 words over this whole trip so far since the windmill, and he's just not there right now.
Well, we haven't really had the time to catch a break, so
let's probably debrief on the cannibalism.
Yeah, we'll definitely have a chat about that. But has anyone actually talked about Jonor's wings? I know he's done it before, but I think we weren't really in the moment to have a chat about it. So I think
the fact that one of your party members grew spectral wings and flew around the roof for like 4 or 5 rounds of combat.
Like a pigeon.
Like a pigeon trapped inside. It started so majestic. These beautiful golden angelic wings that allowed him to fly around the room like a fucking pigeon trapped inside.
Tell me that the wings make that squeaky noise when he flies with them too.
So we're going to have to give some context. For those of you who aren't Australian, there's a native pigeon in Australia that when it flaps its wings, it makes this squeaking noise. I shit you not. This isn't the sort of bullshit. This isn't the bullshit that Australians pull talking about drop bears and things like that. They are legit. Look out for them. This is a legitimate pigeon, and it has like a crest, like a feathered crest.
Oh, that's a crested pigeon.
Crested pigeon, thank you. It's a native type of pigeon.
And just really creative.
Fuck, they're just absolutely shit all over my. No, and when they fly, they go. With their wings.
Cool.
It's really funny. Dogs in Australia fucking love them because it's like chew toy and running toy all in one. And it squeaks all by itself. So most dogs learn to chase them quite quickly. But yeah, that is now canon. That's the sound Jonor's wings make when he flies, really like concernedly inside.
Hastily? Alright, we'll say hastily. That works.
Hastily.
But,
I'm kidding. It's not canon.
They're just flapping so hard just to keep him up. Just a little.
It's almost like a warble sound.
Yeah. How do they actually? I've never wondered how they make that noise. Is it them making it, or is it because of like the compression of their
I think it's the feathers rubbing.
Yeah, I think it's something like that.
I thought it was their sound they make.
No, that's not them. That's just their.
I definitely think it has something to do when they move their wings, and they're like, it probably has something to do with maybe the feathers rubbing.
Yeah, a whistling sound that their wings make when they take off. It's designed to draw the attention of predators. I'm going to chuck in the wiki. If you go down to the bottom, there's a video that you can listen to.
Wait, it's designed to draw the attention of predators?
Designed to draw the attention of predators.
Hello.
Yeah. Seems like a poor choice.
Well, because when they go in flocks, it's confusing because there's like multiple sounds coming from multiple places, and when they've got young, apparently it helps draw the attention away from the nest. I've just pasted in the Wikipedia, and I'll chuck it in the description too if you want to hear it. It's quite funny.
They have the same defense as bait fish.
Yeah.
Just stay in big numbers and hope it's confusing enough that one gets away.
Yeah, exactly right. It's like, one of us may die, but it's a sacrifice we are willing to make. Exactly.
It works.
So yeah, as you turn to Jonor.
Yeah, so I look around for Grinner. Grinner's not there. I see a lot of butts. And then I look at Jonor, and Jonor, I imagine, is just sort of sitting there, maybe having some rations, just taking it easy, relaxing a little bit from the slog we had.
I think I'm trying to get his stomach to settle after knowing he ate children a little bit.
Yep,
Not to the same depth as Grinner.
Can I add, at this point, you don't know 100% what was in the pies that you ate. All you know is what Grinner experienced downstairs. So only Theodore and Grinner know that Bella tried to cut Grinner up and put him in a pie, and that the oven.
The eye wasn't there.
Yeah, he did. The gravy had eyes in it. Yeah,
that's true. Yeah, it did have gravy. Yeah, it did have an eyeball in the gravy. That could have been humanoid.
And the stove and everything as well. You described
the stove with these like ghostly hands coming out of it. But I should say at this point,
I think we all connected it a little bit.
But you don't know 100% whether or not you've eaten human flesh. And I don't know, if it was me personally, I'd hold on to that 1% chance that I just got the beef.
Have the gravy.
Exactly. Yeah. But I didn't eat the salmon mousse. Exactly. Yeah.
So you're looking pretty crook there, Jonor?
I'm gonna say, because there's a fair chance it's contemplative. It can't confirm deny. So,
but oh, sorry. Yeah, you go ahead.
If you're gonna, I'd like to just try and distract you a little bit. And Jonor, were those creatures we fought in your book of monsters that we found in the manor?
Oh, we had some of those hags, didn't we? Let's have a look.
You found a demon book, did you not?
Yeah, there was a book of the demonology, and I have a bit of a flick through, and do I find anything on hags specifically in this?
We don't know that there were hags, do we?
No, but Jonor kind of like he'd made an Arcana check.
Like them,
oh yeah.
He'd made an Arcana check before and had known about the various types of spellcasters, and one of the spellcasters or monstrous spellcasters are hags. Jonor, you're actually in quite a bit of luck here. Could you please roll me an Arcana check? Maybe I shouldn't say that before you've rolled the Arcana check.
Here comes the one.
24.
Not the one.
There is an entry specifically on night hags, not on any other type of hag, but on night hags, because night hags are fiends. The others are fae.
Oh,
But night hags are specifically the demonic hag. They are the fiendish hags. So they know abyssal and infernal, I'm pretty sure from memory. So they're the only hags tied to devils and demons. Jonor, there is a section, as you flip through, on these monstrous, like purple-skinned, black teeth, black hooked claws, humanoid, female-looking monsters. And the entry underneath refers to these as night hags. And the entry refers to their desire to corrupt those around them. They can step into people's dreams, feed them nightmares. They can even steal people's souls and store them in these pouches made from the human skin of their victims. It's a soul bag. They are driven to drive mortals to corruption. And the process of doing that somehow provides them with power for their spells, power for their magic, and power for their longevity, their long lives. That corruption of purity into darkness and evil deeds. That is what night hags love more than anything else. It is their food, it is their bread and butter. It is what makes them powerful and, quite terrifying creatures. One of the things you do read, they can sneak into people's dreams, turn their dreams into nightmares, and even sometimes see where those creatures are when they're sleeping, manifest in their shadows. These are very scary, very dangerous creatures. And as you finish reading through this essentially this bestiary of fiends, it's made very clear to you that to survive an encounter with a night hag is good fortune. To survive an encounter with a coven is unheard of. Only those with extreme skill have been able to do it. Which then probably with an Arcana of 24 starts to give you a bit of a spidey sense, or I'd say a hag sense, that something else was at play. Either you were allowed to leave, or they weren't using their full powers against you. Because you, at some points, you guys were holding your own. Like you saw you damaging them, and then whenever they looked like they were taking too much damage, they just vanished. They could have done that any time. Appeared and disappeared, gone anywhere. You're now starting to get a bit paranoid that something about your escape seems very convenient and very unusual. Yeah.
I think we might have made some pretty bad enemies here, lads. I think we might have made a bit of a whoopsie on this one.
Nah, we'll get them back, don't worry.
Yeah, that's what you'd get away from your Book of Fiends, Jonor, is this unease of, I think we were allowed to leave.
Why would they allow us to leave?
I'm going to assume that I share basically that.
It's up to you. It's up to you whether or not you share it. So I'm assuming you read it first, and then you can share as much or as little of that as you'd like. Remember, you are under the geese spell.
Yep, I haven't forgot.
Yeah.
What does it mean?
Nothing.
It means for the next 30 days he could be.
He's hag bitch.
Something we don't know. And
The best bit is none of you know.
No,
You've got no idea.
we know about it as players, but we have to play it as well.
Raph's
We-
just turned his camera off in protest.
We don't even know that he's been geezed, do we?
No, you've got no idea.
No.
You've got no idea that he's been goosed. I assume
So we
that's the
literally
plural.
have to also pretend that we don't know
Geezed.
about it.
You've got no idea. In any minute now, he's going to become a circle of the honk druid, and that's it. Just game over.
Yeah. I'm going to just recall it out of memory, the things that I can recall, and fill in any gaps that I need. So night hags, they are a special type of evil. They live and thrive off the suffering of others. They love doing some evil acts. If you have any weird moments in your dreams coming up, then it's definitely their work of the work of them.
Should we be worried about that? Are we safe in our dreams?
Look, they might interfere to some degree, but it doesn't seem like it's going to be a big problem. Maybe just be careful of your shadow. Yeah.
I'm not going to lie, it's very hard to get away from my shadow.
I'll just say keep a healthy awareness. I don't know
Of
how this
my
plays at
shadow.
night. You know, just look, you make a fair point. I don't know how you can today. I also think that they might have been playing down just a little bit. So there's hags, there's night hags, and there's a coven, and we would not survive against the coven. So something weird was going on. That's absolutely for sure. We just be careful about that. I think we should be suspicious about all
Well,
that
I mean,
earlier.
Without Damien popping up, we would have died, right?
Oh yeah, I look over to Damien.
Is that
Damien,
the thing that-
I'm
is that-
very
is
glad
Damien
that you
the-
helped.
Well, is
As you
Damien
look
the
over
one that-
towards Damien, he's wandered off a little bit of a distance from you, about 2 or 3 meters around the side of the lake. Looks to be a bit lost in thought, just looking out across the dark waters, eyes scanning the surface of the lake as if looking for something.
Well, I'm very glad that Damien, you did turn up at that time because we really were in a fair bit of strife. So, Damien, thank you for your help. I greatly appreciate it. We need more people like you.
It takes him a second or two to respond, and as he sort of turns around, he sort of like shakes his head a little bit and goes,
Not a problem. Not a problem at all. Just in the right place at the right time.
Yeah, thank you so much, David. We love you. I hope we never have to fight you in combat.
That would be very bad.
I didn't say that.
okay.
Yes.
I hope you never betray us.
It's just lucky that I was heading in that direction and that I remembered about the mill and grew concerned for your well-being. Lucky that I still have this lantern with me.
Yes, what is this lantern? It seemed very powerful.
Yes, it is a rather old trinket. I found it in a barrow up to the north. It repels fey creatures and fiendish creatures that are of malevolent intent.
Interesting.
I will
Only
say another
temporarily.
detail. Another detail is that those hags typically are they're typically fey, right? But these ones were fiend. Is that right, Owen?
Yes, exactly right. Yeah, the night hags are fiendish and fey creatures. It's kind of an amalgamation of both.
I'll share that as well.
They did not seem like any of the nice fae that I know.
They did not.
Oh.
It's a fact.
They did not revel.
Point.
There was no revel. That is very true.
Very low on revel.
Very low on
Definitely,
revel.
you tried to bring the revel. I could see that by heading downstairs, but that did not work out for us at all, did it?
No,
The
it
feasting
did
was
not.
there. They took of the feasting.
So I know we've been talking a lot, but Jonor, I can't believe we never even touched on this before. I've seen you do it once, now twice, but those wings. What
Took
what
me
is-
by surprise as well, actually.
Wait, so this is a new development for you?
Yeah, I just all in the fray. I got shocked and fell over backwards and felt like I needed to hold myself up, and just those wings popped out. I think that's a bit of my celestial calling coming back to me here. I think have a bit of a connection and help him out in the time of need. So, yeah, the celestial types just get more and more interesting. I can tell you all about them if you want.
I mean, it just for it to come out at that point is. I've been traveling you for a while now. I've never seen it. This is quite a new development.
Yeah, well, I am part celestial. I am an Aasimar and Aasimar, and that's one of the things that are known about the mighty and best amongst us. Those who ascend to the greatest heights can get all these different abilities, wings, or use facial. Like,
Solid flying pun.
You see Damien perk up at that as you say that, Jonor, about the celestial heritage. Damien sort of perks up a little bit. You okay there, Raph?
Yeah, I'm all good. I'm trying to find somewhere comfy. I've been sitting down all day and I'm stuck sitting on a bed and it's so uncomfortable. But carry on. I'm good.
We need a cushion for your little tushin.
I do. I need a butt cushion.
And the highest quality dialogue here at the Lost Archives. As Damien looks towards you, Jonor steps up. He goes,
I did not know you were of the celestial folk. That is interesting. Where are you? Sorry, you go.
Yeah, I am part celestial. I've got a little tinkering of it in my genes.
Very interesting. Very interesting.
he sort of seems to nod, this very old, quite sort of grizzled face, eyes a bit squinting, nods and looks back over, studying the lake once more. His travelling cloak pulled up tight around him, the bow strung across his back, long greying hair pulled back into a ponytail, as he sort of looks back out across the lake, nodding to himself silently.
Well, as he turns around to go look at the lake, I'll probably sort of look at Jonor. We'll look at it came out at the right time when you needed it. It's I'm sure that moving forward that'll be a great bonus to your abilities. Definitely will help us out.
Actually inspired me a little bit that my heritage was coming out. I was happy to see it come out.
Well, perfect. It's good to see.
How did we describe your flying inside before? Was it like a pigeon trapped inside it? Around the roof.
Yeah. With the conversation sort of dying down, I'm going to jump back up into the trees and keep an eye out again, sort of look out again.
Yeah. You guys all finish your short... Oh, sorry, Has, you.
Yeah, I was just going to say, if we're done with the short rest, I was going to start moving us along before, so we can get to Vallaki before nightfall.
Brilliant. All of you may finish your short rests if you haven't already done so. Any hit dice you want to spend, please regain those hit points. Any abilities that come back on a short rest, please renew those abilities. Tithla and Irina walk back towards the party. Tithla's horrendous burns from the mill now bound tightly in bandages as Irina directs her back to the party. Theodore, were you going to transform back into Beornling to give Tithla a ride? Was that the plan? Okay, cool. As you transform back into the Beornling form, this bear elk hybrid, which I'm hoping will come up on the stream overlay in a second. As you transform back into this Beornling form, and Tithla very gingerly climbs on top of your back, wincing at the vast expanse of burns across her skin. The rest of you set off. As you get back towards the road and begin walking down it, Damien turns towards the group of you and sort of is hanging back a little bit towards the back, and then eventually sort of like coughs and goes,
I need to have a word, sorry. This last stretch, heading to Vallaki, I have come a bit out of my way for where I wanted to go, and I think this last stretch should be fairly safe enough for you. I need to be making tracks. I will see you all again sometime, I'm sure, but there are still some things that I need to do before the sun fully sets.
You have already been a great assistant to us, so by all means.
I'll look over to Tithla and just see how emotionally she reacts to him leaving again.
This isn't fair, making me make decisions for player characters. I'm just going to say Tithla's ignoring all of this and just holding on to her.
Do the Tithla, like shoot what she was doing
cold
last
shoulder.
time. Oh, that's okay, Damien. Yeah, that's fine. Do that.
That's fine.
Yeah, you do what she got to do, Damo.
And then grabs hold of
Theodore's
fur.
Don't worry about me. Like, don't worry about us. Like,
you got to do the voice,
cold
Jared.
shoulder. I'm not doing the voice.
But this is a player's chosen voice. Are you disrespecting?
No. I just think I would sound so stupid if I do. I will butcher it.
I'm going to be honest. I'm amazed that Jacob is able to hold that voice up for 2 hours every Monday night.
Yeah.
Like at some point, something's going to give, and I'm hoping it's like around the twist where his voice gets trapped there, and he now can only use that voice for the rest of his life.
Oh yeah, I was doing D&D, and I chose this voice, and now I'm stuck with it, and forever.
He would make it work though.
Yeah.
There are just some situations where I don't think that works though. Any intimacy, for example.
Yeah, I was going to say.
I was going to say not very business professional, but yeah, that's worse.
It may look like we're bullying one of our fellow players who's not here to join us tonight, and that's because we are.
He just is.
Yeah.
He's not here. Yeah.
100%.
This is how Australians show affection.
That's right. We're bonding.
We're bonding. Fuck you, Jacob. So as the but we love you. As you guys begin walking off, Damien splits from the party and melts back into the undergrowth, disappearing. Rather than following the pathway back, moves back into the woodland and disappears into the woodland on the side of the road.
Imagine if the homebrew into a hedge move.
He turns into a bat, screeches loudly, and flaps off.
Still with squeaky wings. every animal here that flies has squeaky wings.
Moravian trait, all part pigeon. How non-threatening would a vampire that turns into a pigeon instead of a bat be?
I'll need to paste what we're referencing again in chat. So there's a species of pigeon in Australia that makes this hilarious noise when it flaps its wings. It's called a crested pigeon. I've put the wiki link. Scroll down. There's a video of it and an audio file. We're not making this shit up. And we were having a bit of fun laughing that Aasimar make that noise when they flap their wings, and now it's extended to every flying creature in D&D, apparently. They all make this noise when they fly. So yeah, you're right, Haz. Vampires would be very non-threatening. Like, if you could hear them coming, like, as they, like, fly along, you wouldn't be scared of them at all. What were you going to say?
Speaking of vampires, before Damo leaves, Grinner's just, like, he's kind of followed everyone out from the forested area and is just kind of walking along, not at a huge distance, but just a few feet behind everyone else, still smoking away. When Damo goes to leave, he'll probably, still with the dog end out of his mouth, just go up and shake his hand and just nod. That's probably the extent of it. Just gives the one nod and the handshake.
Yeah.
But above table, out of curiosity, I don't have an overly high passive perception, but do I notice, like, is his hand where it's supposed to be from a passive perception point of view? Is he where he's meant to be?
That's a good question. Here's what I'm going to get you to do. Could you please make me a perception or investigation check?
Probably do perception, because Grinner's not really... He doesn't think that there's anything up, really, at this stage.
No, fair enough.
Like, he wouldn't be investigating anything. 16.
As you shake Damien's hands, this calloused, quite a strong grip, but very heavily calloused hand, it feels like a regular hand. And as you look down, you're touching his skin. You can feel where you're contacting with his skin. In fact, even his clothes, as he pulls back, part of his cloak brushes against the edge of your hand as a stray gust of wind knocks it and pushes it forwards, and you feel the cloak just brush against your hand lightly. If it's an illusion, it's a really good one that's tied exactly to where he is in space, and it's perfect because there's no sign of any illusionary magic. You're not passing through anything.
Suspicious.
You're not.
Hey, Grinner's
so suspicious.
Grinner's all good.
As you shake his hand, he looks at you in the eyes, and you can see again that very sort of haunted look that you saw the last time you had a bit of a conversation with Damien. This kind of like, yeah, he's always got these dark rings under his eyes, as if he's kind of seen a bit too much or been awake a bit too long. And
some shit, man.
Yeah, and you can see that, like, the graying hair and the wrinkled face. There's just something about his eyes that he feels even older than he looks. And probably for Grinner, that's not necessarily suspicious. I would imagine sometimes Grinner feels a lot older than he looks. But yeah, just this sense of looking at Damien, and as you shake his hand, this sort of like 1,000-yard stare, almost as if he's seen too much.
Okay. All right. I shake his hand, nod, let him go.
He shakes your hand, gives you a nod, and then walks off into the undergrowth, disappearing into the forests on either side of the Svalich Road. Your journey down the road only takes you another couple of hours before you can see the outskirts of the city, I should say town of Vallaki. Palisade walls surrounding the outside. As you look at it, probably you were expecting a bit more, something a bit more sturdy. This looks, compared to the towns in Nostea, rather ramshackle. You can see that around the palisade wall, thick fog presses around the outside. Even though the sun hasn't fully set, the fog is beset around the edges of the palisade wall. The road that you're walking down ends at a set of very sturdy-looking iron gates, 2 guards standing in front. on the outside of the town, probably most striking along the borders of the road as you approach, a number of spikes with, at first, what looks to be the heads of dogs, but as you look closer and see more of them, very clearly are the heads of wolves in various states of decomposition, mounted on these rows of spikes along the road heading towards the town of Vallaki. With the sun only just starting to set, as you reach the end of the road towards the town gate, the two guards step up towards you. Both human, both clearly Barovians. One of them in particular looks to be very young, only 16, 17. The other more middle-aged and much more sure of himself. The young one kind of standing back, holding his spear very close to his chest, holding it quite tensely as the other guard steps up, holding the spear just in one hand, looking a bit more casual. As he looks towards you, these very sort of dark green eyes piercing out from underneath the very ill-fitting metal helmet, burnished iron helmet. He looks towards you. What business have you got in Vallaki?
I morph back out of, put Tithla down, morph back out of Bjornling form. Hello, guards. We require some lodging and supplies. We're just travelers. May we please enter for safety?
As you shapeshift in front of them from a rather large wolf-like looking creature into a humanoid.
It's bear-like.
It is, but these guys...
Damn. We should have done this
both
outside.
Lower this. Oh, actually, how long did your wild shape last for?
Actually, it was only an hour. So how long?
It would have faded long before this. It would have taken you 2 or 3 hours, 3.5 hours of walking.
Okay, well then I would have used both. I would have given as much to Tithla to get to,
yeah.
but then probably would have still. If it's 3 hours, probably would have had the last hour on foot anyhow.
Okay.
No transform.
Good.
Hello?
Thank goodness.
I'm still a goat man.
That's okay. That's okay. You're not a wolf. You're not a wolf goat man. So that's as you step up. Furry hooves clattering. Arena and Ismark step up alongside you. And as you say, what did you say? You said, well, we're here to enter Vallaki.
Yeah, we've had to come into your town, quite obviously. We need, it's getting dark, we need a place to stay. It's not safe out at night here, obviously.
We've had quite a bad day on the road. You can see our Tithla here. We really need somewhere to rest.
Before we let you in, you need to undergo the test.
Okay, what is this test? Algebra?
Hey, come on. The guard leans back and flicks his hand over his shoulder, gesturing for the younger guard, who steps forward holding a dagger more akin to a knife for carving than anything else, with a very fine-looking silver blade and handle. And as the guard holds it out, you have to take the dagger.
Okay.
Irina kind of like looks down and goes like, "Why is this necessary? This is what I." You goatman first.
Okay, what is this dagger?
Pick it up and find out.
Can I roll perception, arcana, survival?
Yeah. Perception, arcana, survival, your choice. Whichever one you want to roll. And I'll tell you specific things depending on which one you roll.
Probably go perception.
We did discuss silver previously, didn't we?
Oh, yeah, we talked about silver before. 9, Theodore. It's made of metal. A silvery looking metal. Could be iron, could be silver, could be tin. It's been polished. Could be
really top-notch tin.
Yeah, really top-notch tin. Look, could be pewter. You don't know, man.
Not copper.
No, it's not copper. Unless it's been painted.
Okay, give me your dagger, sir.
They hold it out as you reach down and pick up the dagger and hold it up. Both guards lower their spears for a second as if expecting something to happen. When nothing happens, the younger guard reaches up and tries to take the dagger from you.
I spin it around, hand it back to him.
Takes the dagger back.
Okay.
The older guard... Oh, sorry, you go.
You happy? I've held your strange dagger.
The older guard looks towards the younger one and goes, "Next time you make a small incision, remember, they do not hold the dagger. What if one of them was infected? Now we no longer have the item to test. They could just run off with it."
What do you mean infected? Is
The
there
younger guard...
some disease? Fungal, perhaps?
The older guard spits on the ground. "Worst disease. Disease of the wolves. There are
many of these infected around here, creatures that are man and beast in one. Werewolves in your
I
tongue.
see how the shapeshifting might have been problematic.
It's very fortunate.
It's very fortunate. Oh god.
Could have been spicy to have a druid turn into a direwolf inside the limits of Vallaki.
Oh, this could still be a fun activity.
That's true.
Give me time.
It's true.
I
Yeah,
really
don't
think
tease
that
me, Hans.
Jonor would just give his explanation of what he thinks happening right now. Oh, guys, I think this is a silver dagger, and there's lycanthropy. I think silver is kind of bad for them. So any transforming creatures, this will like hurt them or scare them away. Is that what's going on?
The older guard gives you a bit of a look. Test him next.
Oh yeah, sure. Why not?
Jonor, I don't think they're really conversationalists. I think
They are not very chatty.
The younger guard reaches up and presses the dagger quite suddenly against your hand, Jonor. When no sizzling or cries of alarm come from you, he pulls the dagger back and moves through each of you, pressing the silver against you, unless you resist.
No, I'm probably going to walk up after Jonor, just with
Get it
this
over and done with.
deadpan scowl on his face, and I'm just stand looming over this kid. I have had one of the worst fuckhead days of my fuckhead week, right? I hold my hand out, get your fucking done right fucking now, and we're going into this city, alright? And as he goes to put the dagger against my hand, I'm just going to push my palm into the dagger. So he just stabs me right in the palm. Yeah.
Oh shit! Okay. As you push it in and it cuts you, the guard cries out a little bit in alarm and pulls back. The older guard suddenly lowering his spear, thinking something's wrong, until he sees the blood dripping off the dagger, and sees you just like looking calmly with this cut in your hand.
I think I will quickly whisper to Jonor and Theodore, and I'll be like, I think we really, really need to have a chat with Grinner.
Yes, he needs some counseling, I think.
I think something's really off.
Therapy is in order.
Right, is that proof enough? I think we're done here. I think we're fucking done here.
The guards
What's the problem,
nod.
Grinner? What are you thinking about?
I've had enough of standing around out this front of these fucking gates. We're going in. We're done. We've proved ourselves.
You haven't done anything wrong, Grinner, have you?
Proving myself in front of other people, right? We're going in.
Is this acceptable, guardsman? Are we able to enter your city?
They both nod and look a bit sort of chagrined as
Yeah,
all of you
fuck
have
yeah,
submitted
come on.
yourselves for the test.
Good.
I go over to Grinner and give it a little bump on the shoulder. I can't believe those guys.
He doesn't actually respond to that. I don't think he says anything. He just kind of walks off ahead.
Fair enough. As you pass through the palisade wall and into the town proper of Vallaki, the first thing that kind of really strikes you entering in is how many houses there are here. Vallaki is a lot bigger than you might have originally thought. Walking through and entering in, you can see that the town and the buildings are, there's a number of buildings all around, a number of people moving around as well. You can see there are a number of banners hanging between the houses, as if someone has set up for some sort of parade or something, joining the houses together. The banners, though, look tattered and old. But as you get closer in, you can see more and more of them, all different types, again and again and again, all draping from the various houses and areas of Vallaki. Something that seems a little bit odd. As you walk in and pass through a number of these houses, the first building of note that you would come to as you step into the town itself, I'll bring this across to a little map if you I won't put it on stream unless we need it. Try and practice our descriptive term. As you pass through this long, narrow section of pathway that then leads to a larger cross section, probably close to where the town square would be, Directly in front of you, just a little bit to the south of where you are, you can see this massive building. Rather impressive looking as well. It's a shop that is painted with purples and greens. It has a very large entrance with these 2 large double doors, and a wooden sign shaped like a rocking horse hangs above it and swings in this very faint breeze with a large letter B engraved in gold filigree on both sides. Flanking the entrance, you can see these 2 massive lead-framed windows with stained glass, again with those purple and green colours. And as you look at this large building, probably that's the first thing that grabs your eye as you arrive in Vallaki. To your right, or to the west of where you are, is a large 2-story wooden building with grey smoke rising from its chimney. You can see that clearly this is some sort of inn, and to the east of where you are, you can also see what looks to be some sort of guardhouse or watchhouse.
Ismark, have you've been to Vallaki before?
Yes, but it was some time ago. I'm not familiar with all of this, the banners and things like that.
You do not know the store with the big B?
Oh, the store. Oh no, I know the store. That's Blinsky Toys. They make toys for children. Arena, you had a
big impressive building. Why so popular? It seems like toys should be perhaps not on everyone's mind.
It wasn't always the case. When we were kids, we had some toys from Blinsky. Arena, you had a small rabbit from Blinsky, didn't you? You had for some time. What was it called again?
Arena kind of blushes a little bit at this and mumbles something that you just barely catch.
Mr. Floppy?
Yes, Mr. Floppy, that's right, yeah.
Whatever happened to that rabbit? Arena goes,
Don't worry about the rabbit. For now, we need to find some help for Tithla. She's very hurt. Can we please focus on
Yes.
finding some sort of healer or...
Fair enough. I grab a local. Hello, Mr.
Yes, a woman walking past looks to be in her late 30s. Very sallow skin, very dark ring circles under her eyes, and as you grab at her, she sort of looks at you in a bit of fear, and then when realizing that you're not going to attack her, sort of calms down a little bit.
I apologize, madam. I did not mean to frighten you. I just we are in dire need of a healer.
You could try St Andral's church. The priest there has been known to be able to perform some healing. Otherwise, you'll need to go to the Vistani camp outside of the village. They have a healer there.
And where is this cathedral?
You'll need to head down through the town. If you head down this road and then take a left towards the far city gate, it has a large red roof shingled building. You can't miss it. You'll have to walk up towards the graveyard.
Thank you very much. One last question. I don't mean to impose, but I notice all of these banners. Are you preparing for a festival or a parade or some such?
She gives a very uncharacteristically deadpan laugh.
There's always some sort of festival going on in Vallaki. The Burgomaster decrees that we will always have festivals. The Wolf's Head Jamboree was less than a week ago.
The Wolf's Head Jamboree? I'm sorry, we are new to your city. I do not understand. How could you always have festivals?
She gives this very long-suffering sigh.
It is just the way things are in Vallaki, under our Burgomaster, Baron Varkas Valakovich.
Are they not nice festivals? Do you not enjoy them?
Where fun is mandated at the festivals of Vallaki.
Well, okay, this is very ominous, but I thank you for your time.
I really hope the next festival is much better than the last one.
Did you not hear Jonor? She said the fun is mandated. It sounds like a jolly good revel. When is the next festival?
In 3 days, the Festival of the Blazing Sun will be held in the town square. If you head down the road towards the east there and then head towards the south, you can't miss it.
Is there anything of particular note for the Festival of the Blazing Sun?
I hear there's going to be lots of fire.
In this festival, do they praise a goddess perchance? It's
No,
like this
they
is
are
definitely
all different.
exclusive.
Every week we have a different festival.
No, but the
different
blazing sun,
celebration.
though, is that in response to the worship of Lysander by chance?
Who?
My apologies. Lysander, the goddess. Is it Lysander?
Lysander, goddess of the
I
sun.
was right. Damn it. Lysander, goddess of the sun. You've not heard of her?
Never heard of her.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Righto. No problem at all. As I seem dejected.
She goes to walk off and then pauses for a second and looks back at the lot of you, kind of taking you all in one more time.
We don't often have strangers visiting Vallaki, but when we do, you can find shelter at the Blue Water Inn. Another stranger was there recently. Came riding on a carnival wagon. I believe he's still there.
The carnival,
I assume you're with him?
No, is he one of the Vestani?
Nope, not one of the Vistani. He's very clear about that, and he doesn't have their look.
No, we are not, but we will definitely go to investigate this man. We do not know him.
With that, she gives you a nod, begins wandering off.
To the cathedral.
Yes, it sounds. Yep, let's do it.
Yeah, we follow her directions.
Alrighty. Thanks, Evildoer. Thank you again for the lovely raid. Have a lovely, lovely evening. We'll catch you guys next time. You lovely evildoers. Seems weird saying that out loud. You lovely evildoers. Oh, you delicious evildoers. That's right, my minions. Go forth. Alrighty. It sounds like a group from. Did anyone ever play that game Overlord?
Sounds familiar.
I think it was like where you were like you're the evil bad guy and you create minions and they like serve you and it's all about like, conquering the lands. It's very funny. Oh my god! As I say, Overlord, someone called Overcord in chat's gone like, yeah. What are the chances? I said, "For the Overlord" is like the only thing I can remember from that game. I have to play it again. Oh, there's one more thing I remember. Wasn't it written? I think the story was written by Rhianna Pratchett, daughter of Terry Pratchett, who's one of my favorite authors.
Oh, that's fun.
All right.
Yeah, I have to play it again. Anyway, complete aside. As you guys head down the main road, you pass by a number of houses once again. You can also see what is clearly the Blue Water Inn that you were recommended to walk past before. As you walk past a red-roofed building with a large sign out the front that proudly proclaims it's the Blue Water Inn. A very rough drawing of the lake as well, but rather than the very dark grey waters that you've observed, in the sign the waters are crystal blue. Green bulrushes rising from the shore, and the sun shines in the background, illuminated off the lake's surface. Very different to what you've seen. But you pass by, heading along the road. It doesn't take you very long to get to the chapel, and very, very clearly you can see that this is some sort of chapel or cathedral. A rather large building for Vallaki. You can see that it is, a very large, centuries-old stone church that is almost slouching under the weight of its roof. The roof itself, which has these very dark red tiles, almost seems to be bulging down and outwards very slightly, as if it's just very old and hasn't been super well cared for over the years. The steeple is actually on a bit of a lean, and you can see the bells are hanging slightly just out the front of the steeple, as if, again, it's not been very well propped up. The walls are lined with cracked stained glass windows, depicting figures, all with their hands clenched in various stages of worship. And a fence of wrought iron encloses the church and the gravestones that are contained within the graveyard just towards the west of the church. As you walk up, you can see that, I'd probably say Luther notices this. Luther, there is indeed a symbol of a blazing sun over the door to the church as you walk up towards it. The symbol of Lysander, goddess of the sun. But the effigy, that the symbol is faded as if time has eroded it. And there's no other marks on this church that would indicate that any active, proud worship of the Mistress of the Sun, that the Morning Queen herself, Lysander, ever occurs here.
Okay, that's interesting. I'll keep that in mind for now.
File that away under interesting.
Yeah, might bring it up with the priest, but probably got bigger fish to fry at the moment with Tithla.
Yeah. You can see outside as you come up to the front door, walking around from behind the church, the church, carrying a shovel, dressed in very simple clothes, is a young human male. He looks to be in his early 20s, dark black hair that sort of is just higher than shoulder length, tied back with a single ribbon at the back, and you can see that he is a little bit dirty. And as he walks around, he sort of pauses as he sees you. Who are you? What are you doing here?
Are you the Father Samuel?
Father Samuel? I don't know who you're looking for. Father Lucian Petrovich is our priest, but no, I'm not him.
Did I get the name wrong? Did you say Father Samuel before? Or did I just get that very wrong?
No, I don't know where you got that from. I hadn't said the name of the priest. I think you reached deep within the crevice of your butt cheeks and pulled that one free.
Are you the father of the church?
Harrison, can we take a quick aside? Do you need to tell us about an experience from your youth?
Oh no.
That's staying repressed, Owen.
Sorry,
Samuel's
back
gone
in the
right
vault.
back in where he was.
Seal the vault once more.
Back you go, Father Samuel.
Oh god. Yeah, look at Owen's face.
No, I'm Milivosh. Guess I'm the caretaker.
All right. Well, where can we find the father? Our friend is very injured. We need healing.
A quick question about that. So you're the caretaker of this church. Do you suffer from an impediment?
Yeah, lack of funds. I'm doing my best, but we've got no materials. I've got no support.
You're calling him
Father Lucian's just so blind about this. The church is in dire need of repair, and he does nothing. I have tried my best to convince him, but all of our money is being wasted on the burgomaster's bloody festivals. It is a waste of our time and resources. We need to be working on securing these walls and securing the church.
Look, I personally think a revel can never be, undeserved
Wait till you have them once a week. You hear the burgomaster's fucking "all will be well" endlessly, I swear.
Theodore, I don't think we're all a bit like you. Where you've come from, obviously doing this on the daily was completely fine, but that's pretty rare.
I'm all for having fun, but being imprisoned for daring to question the purpose of these? Unbelievable.
Wait, so people go to prison if they say something about the fair?
The burgomaster's locked up about 4 or 5 people in the last 2 weeks alone.
Well, just because they questioned the festivals?
Yeah, for speaking out against him, for publicly saying that there was no point to these, or questioning what the purpose was, or... It's just unbelievable. I can't understand it. It's like he's gone mad.
Your tongue's pretty loose for someone who could get locked up at any minute for talking.
You're clearly strangers here. I'm not worried about you tattling on me to the mayor, the burgomaster, and if you do, well then fine. I took a risk, it didn't pay off. At least then I'll get some fucking sleep.
To be honest, though, I agree with you. This church is it needs to be kept.
It is pretty shitty.
It is. Look, this is it's in a sorry state. Hopefully, I might be able to help you out with that. We'll find out.
Priest Father Lucian's inside, but he's resting. Been holding late night
congregations offering people the protection of St Andral for all the good it's done. You might find him not so hopeful this early in the morning. Oh wait, no, it's late evening. No, sorry. He's inside preparing for his nightly congregation.
Wait, so you said... Wait, so Owen, quickly,
yeah.
At the game. So they got Lysander iconography, but then they...
He's just mentioned someone called St Andral.
Yeah.
No,
so
you've got no idea who that is.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm confused. You got all the Lysander iconography, but who is St Andrew?
Some holy man or woman. I don't know much about it. Talk to Father Lucian, but the church is named after them, and they're the one that people turn to for protection. The bones are kept underneath the crypt.
Right. Okay. Thanks.
You're the groundskeeper, but you do not believe in the religion that the cathedral purports?
Look, it's a job, mate. Nothing more, nothing less.
Hey, Owen,
Yeah.
I hate to do this to you, but Grinner's going to look over at Tithla. What's she doing right now?
Oh God, we need to.
Is she just like slumped
Tithla-
while we're having this unnecessary conversation?
I didn't think of that.
Tithla, as you look over, you can't see Tithla and Arena.
Oh, okay, they probably went in.
They've gone.
Yeah, you can't. As you turn around, you're like, "Oh shit, where they gone?"
Let's follow them.
What was this guy's name? Can you put that in the chat? 'Cause I
No.
can't.
Yeah,
Milivold.
Milivosh. I'll
He's
put it
older
in
brother,
the
Kilovolt.
chat.
Brother Samuel.
Milivosh. Milivosh. There you go. Chuck it in chat for you.
Well, thanks. It was great talking to you. We gleaned some interesting information. But we have a friend to attend to, so I tip my hat to him and I head into the church to check on sort of what's going on with Tithla.
Yeah, as you step inside the church, the inside looks far more well cared for than the outside, at least on the first floor. You can see that the pews that are arranged heading towards the back of the church where the altar is proudly displayed, made of this very light white stone. The wooden pews are very well made. Dark, grey, black wood stained with this shiny, almost glossy finish, giving a reflection from the light coming in from the stained glass walls, stained glass windows on either side. Watching as my dog does a zoomy right behind me. It's just very distracting. I wasn't expecting it. So
You can just see the tail every now and then. It's
yeah,
funny.
they're playing. The two of them are playing. Although Lucy, because she's 15 now, her idea of playing is to lie still and occasionally like just slam down with her paw to knock the smaller pup aside and like send her tumbling. That's like her idea of playing. No, it's super cute. Oh, they're so cute. Oh, it's okay, Alice. I love it. As you head on in and walk through the pews, you can see Irina and Tithla not at the altar, but slightly off towards the left-hand side of the church, a small alcove that appears to have been set up, almost as like a waiting room to see the priest. Bending over, talking to the two of them, as Tithla is now sitting down, Irina sort of crouching next to her, keeping an eye on her. You can see an older human man, completely bald, with only the very faint dusting of stubble around the edges of his head. Excuse me. That then stretched down across his chin and face, giving the impression of this beard that's grown a bit too high up over his ears. This very sort of bizarre look of stubble. Dressed in very typical monk's habits, these long flowing robes, marked with the symbol of the sun once again, but this time something a little bit different about them that you would notice, Luther. Probably not anyone else in particular, but Luther would notice the symbol of the sun has the addition of what looks to be an open hand over the front of the sun, which is not something you've ever really seen on iconography of Lysander before.
Well, I probably even have like an amulet or something of Lysander.
Yeah, you'd have it.
I'll have a quick look at my. Before we, as I notice it, I won't try and do it like too like out in the open, but I'll have a quick glance at mine, compare it, and then
it's different, very different. You tell that instantly. As you walk up and get closer, you can hear Irina talking to the priest and Father Lucian nodding along, looking over the wounds.
as Tithla sort of sits there looking quite hurt.
Oh yes, I think I can perform some rituals to help heal her pain, but these wounds are grievous. I'm not sure I have the power to fully restore the damaged areas. This looks like it might be beyond my healing. You might need to go and seek aid elsewhere. Perhaps Krezek?
As Tithla sort of like nods and Irina sort of sighs and goes, "But Krezek, that's so far away. And is she able to travel in this state?"
Oh, not right now, but I'll see what I can do for her. I can make her more comfortable and help ease some of her pain. You'll need to leave her here overnight. I'm going to be quite busy for the next few hours. I've got a small area we can help her have a bit of a rest. Yeska?
As the priest starts calling out, you see a young boy dressed in similar robes to the priest. You presume the altar boy. This 9-10-year-old human male, very young lad, very large brown eyes, earnest, very excited expression as the priest calls him over to give him a job. Bowl cut hair like a monk, which is quite atrocious. As the young boy runs over and goes, yes, Father Lucian.
Oh yes, could you take our young friend here over towards the guest chambers, and we will make her comfortable. Fetch her some of the willow bark, please. We'll need to make her a willow bark tea. 2 strips of the bark. Yes, 2 strips.
Yes, of course, Father. Hello there.
As he looks towards Tithla gives a bit of a goes,
"Hi. You're so injured. Are you okay?"
Usually she would absolutely love you, but
Pretty,
right now,
pretty hurt.
but now she is not the best of company.
Irina helps her to her feet and gives you guys a bit of a thumbs up as she wanders off, helping guide Tithla away, following Yeska towards an antechamber somewhere off towards the western side. Father Lucian stands up. You can hear his back crack a little bit as he stands, stretches and goes,
Well, welcome. How can I assist you? Are you going to be joining us for our worship tonight?
No, we were just here for the healing.
Oh, all of you?
Well, no, she is our friend.
Oh, you're here with the goblin girl. Oh, well, you're welcome to go with her, though I imagine the room will be quite tightly packed if you were to follow along.
gives a bit of a look at you and goes,
If you don't mind me asking, you look like outlanders, is that correct?
No, my father just had intimate relations with a goat. I'm from Barovia. Happens all the time there.
Could you make me a deception check, please?
100%.
My father had relations with a goat. 17!
Oh, I did not know such an unnatural union could produce a viable offspring. Oh.
That's not considered unnatural in Barovia. Is quite normal. They ran out of women when the evil parade came, so they replaced with goats.
You hear a cough from behind you as Ismark looks at you with a bit of a glare as you say the Barovians ran out of women, so turned to goats. So looks at you and goes like, don't mind their jokes, Father. I'm from Barovia. These lot are indeed outlanders. Can we be of assistance somehow? Sort of looks around a little bit furtive.
Come with me.
He leads you up towards the altar.
Take a look at the ground there. Tell me what you see.
At the ground at the altar?
Yeah, around the altar.
What do we see, Owen?
Anyone who'd like to make a perception, investigation, survival check, arcana check, please choose which one you want to make and roll it, and I'll tell you what you see.
Perception.
Can I?
What a wizard
22
surprise.
for Jonor.
I need to stop this perception. It's not
so weird. But
9
can I
for
get
Theo.
my monocle out and do an investigation check with advantage?
Yeah, of course you can. You've got enough warning to get your monocle out. Yeah, that's
down
fine.
to the ground.
Yeah.
Yes, I do see. It does appear to be that indeed you have purchased all of the red properties, and you do indeed have a monopoly. An actual 20 for 24, Luther. Fucking hell. Let's do it in order then. Jonor, Arcana. Jonor, the very faint feeling as you look over this, as an Aasimar, someone who studies the Celestials and Fiends and Undead, you know that most churches that have been blessed with magical protection and made hallowed ground, you know there's sometimes signs that, for those of you who are skilled, there's a feel that you can often pick up on, especially Aasimar who are very attuned to Celestials. In the past, when you've walked into churches such as this, you've been able to sense a feeling of connection to the gods, or connection to the Celestials. There is none of that in here. This doesn't feel like hallowed ground or any particularly special ground at all. Just, there's no sense of connection to any god or anything in here. Theodore, perception of 9. It's a stone altar. There's some cloth on it. There's some cloth on it, some candles, and there's even a book as well, probably a prayer book. Luther, investigation of 24. Natural 20. As you look around the edge of the altar, you can see that there has been a number of scrapes and scratches around a stone at the base of the altar. And as you have a bit of a closer look, you realize this stone looks like it can be removed. And sure enough, as you bend down and slightly lift the altar, the stone next to the altar and look down, you can see there is clearly a crypt down below. But rather than being dusty on the ladder that leads down into the darkness, rather than seeing a thick layer of dust, you can see very clear footprints leading down into the darkness and handprints on the sides of the ladder. When clearly looking around at the rest of the ladder and the rest of the area, this should be full of dust. Father Lucian gives a bit of a gasp as you suddenly peer up and pull open the stone and goes, "Oh, well, you found that rather quickly. It's one of the best kept secrets of this crypt."
You took it to us to see? Like,
I will say this too.
One of the best kept secrets. Come have a look at this. Like,
I will say this too. In my defense, like, literally the caretaker told us that there was like bones underneath the church. So I was already probably looking out for some kind of entry down there. I won't say that to him now.
Oh, okay.
I'm doing this out of game to explain my net 20.
Well, until fairly recently, there were Bones of St Andral, a very noble woman who died defending this church and her people from a great evil. With her bones here, blessed as they were by the Morning Lord herself, Lysander, we have had her as our patron saint. In fact, this is the Church of St Andral.
So sorry, really sorry. I myself am a follower of Lysander, and I show my amulet. I can see that yours is a little bit different than mine. Is that to resemble St Andral as well within that amulet?
Yes, that is right. We are protected by her hand, guided by her gentle touch.
Well, how can we help you? You said the bones have... You said taken?
They've been taken. They were kept beneath the chapel, provided protection to our church, but they have been stolen.
This makes a lot of sense. When I had a look at that sigil on the ground there, when I looked at it, usually, you know when you walk, you're expecting to have some food and you're quite hungry, but you get to the food and it's just not satisfying at all? It's kind of like when you go to the church now. I was expecting to feel something when I saw that icon, and it just didn't. There was nothing to it. There's something which should be there that's not. And you've just said the bones are missing. This makes perfect sense.
As the bones have been stolen, I was the only one who should have known about these, but I fear I may have let slip to Yeska about a month ago that the bones kept this chapel safe, that we had a special protection kept below the church. He was a scared boy. He was terrified. After one of the more recent
few weeks ago, about a month ago, after one of the more recent festivals, there was a swarm of bats that flew over the town and began attacking people, and he was terrified. I wanted to assure him that he was safe in here. But I fear he might have told someone, but he won't tell me who he told.
And this boy, can you point him out to us?
I'm hoping that you might be able to help locate these stolen bones and return them. I fear that I cannot offer protection to the people who come in here any longer.
Do you have any leads on who would have stolen the bones?
I have a number of leads, but the person who I think Jesker would have been most likely to tell is Miliavosh.
The groundskeeper?
Yes, but I don't know why he might steal them. He's always been such a, quite a dour lad, but a good lad. He's a very hard worker, and he can be quite temperamental. I haven't had a chance to confront him yet. I don't have any proof that it was him.
What makes you suspect him?
I can't imagine who else Jesker would have told. Jesker and Miliavosh are quite close. Miliavosh has his two younger siblings, his brother and sister, and I think he sees Jesker as a bit of a third brother, a third sibling. I just can't imagine who else Jesker would have told. But to suspect Miliavosh, I'd have to change my whole worldview of how I've seen this young lad. I haven't reported the theft to the guards, because I'm scared of what that's going to do to morale and what the Burgomaster might say or do. I don't want to be
hold a
locked up.
festival? The Loss of Bone Festival, I imagine?
I will be accused of causing distress and of going against the revels. I will be locked up, and I have so much important work I need to do to help these people. Please.
Stopping a revel is criminal?
Yes, I am afraid that the Burgomaster is somewhat zealous and enthusiastic in his chasing of protection against Strahd and his minions. He genuinely believes that if we're all happy, then there's no danger that can befall us here.
That does not make any sense.
I would not tell him that, if you enjoy your freedom.
Where is this Burgerman?
The Burgomaster, like a mayor, if you head back towards the centre of town and then head towards the south, he's got a manor house just over the town square.
Like here?
Indeed, yes.
Does that point to a map we don't actually have?
There's no map. You just go, right there. Point outside the window. Yes, right outside that window, yes. You go out that door, you're already 10% of the way there.
Alright, well, look, we can, if you take care of our friend and make her fit to travel to Kresk, we can perhaps help you find some bones.
Yes, that's what I was hoping. I will help your friend regardless of your success. It is my honor and my duty as a priest. But if you were able to find anything, you would do this town a great service.
Of course, it is the least we can do. You said you had multiple leads, though? Is there anyone else besides Miliavosh that...
Well, I do have another lead, but I would be very careful about how you investigate this one.
Do tell. Anything you can tell us will be helpful.
There is a governess, Fiona Wachter. Influential, noble line, Barovia. She owns a manor to the north. You probably would have passed it. She has very clearly stated her criticisms of the Burgomaster of the mayor, and has made, well, no secret of her plans to be the next Burgomaster.
Can you copy and paste that name, please, Owen? Sorry.
Yes, Fiona Wachter.
Yeah, the last name is.
When you say governess, do you mean like governess like a nanny / tutor, or do you mean governess as in like a
Governess
female governor?
Yes, female governor. Yes, her family. The title governess is something she's given herself. We've not had a king or a ruler to bestow such titles for a very long time.
Okay, so you suspect she may have taken the bones and also has some political aspirations?
Well, I can't prove that she's took the bones, and the only reason that I would have her on my list is because she's made no secret at all, of her family's very long-standing loyalty to the von Zaroviches, to Strahd.
She proclaims loyalty to Strahd and still has, like, people are kind of chill with that?
You have to understand, there's no opposition, there's no opposing the Baron. He's like a... He is very powerful and he rules this land. The best we can do is hope to avoid his attention. And that is why I fear that the Burgomaster's work is putting us all in danger.
Okay, so the Burgomaster holds festivals to ward off Strahd. This lady likes Strahd, wants to bring him in.
I can't comment on her position with Strahd, just that her family have been... She makes no secret of her family's long-standing relationships with the von Zaroviches. And all I can tell you is that she has had her eye on the position of Burgomaster for some time.
How has she not been arrested? I thought people who are speaking against the rebels are...
The Burgomaster would not make any moves against her for fear of the consequences, no. I think her boasting about her family's relationship with the von Zaroviches affords her a level of protection against Baron Vargas Valakovich.
You say von Zarovich is like they're a plural, but not... Is there not just one Mr. Strahd?
There is only one Strahd von Zarovich, but he wasn't alone. Our tales tell of his brother and I think even other members of his family that were once here in Barovia. His brother, surely I remember some story about his brother.
How old is this lady to be knowing multiple Zaroviches now?
Oh no, she wouldn't have known them, her family. It'll be her great-great-great-great-great-grandmother or something like that.
That is a tenuous connection at best.
I doubt she's ever met Strahd. I think she's using his name to keep Baron Vargas Valakovich away from her, to stop him making any moves. Vargas wouldn't dare risk the wrath of Strahd, so I think it's a very deliberate move on her part to...
What? So, okay, that's two suspects. Is that it?
Well, to be honest, any of those in town that seek protection for their own homes and had found out about these from poor altar boy, from Yeska, they might have had motive to take them. I mean, the bones are holy, you must understand, and anyone who knew about them is a potential suspect. But whenever there's thievery, you cannot rule out the Vistani.
That's fair and racist, but fair.
How would you know that the church was protected? Can you see that the place has a little bit of a glow to it? What's the tells?
Whenever creatures or undead or the mist, the fog enters town, the church is never touched. Ever.
So it sort of repels all things that are unholy or undead or
I believe so.
That sort.
I believe it does, and I believe that our belief in St Andral and her good work helps to sustain this effect. That without the bones, it cannot survive on belief alone.
Why do you suspect that your altar boy, Yeskia, has told about...
Oh, I know he has. I asked him. He nodded, but he wouldn't tell me who. He was too scared, and you must understand, this boy is an orphan. He's lost his family under horrific circumstances. I've worked very hard to help build his confidence once again. He's very sensitive.
I dare not push him too hard.
Is he likely to crack if we were to politely talk to him? And I mean that in a literal, non-aggressive.
Be very gentle with him if you do talk with him, and I would like to be there in the room, just to step in if it looks like it's getting a bit much for him.
I could break his leg.
You could what?
I give him a whack. Just
what?
Sorry,
the power of the Morning Lord compels you, and you watch as Theodore bursts into holy flame. No, none of that happens.
Well,
Theodore's just like, take me.
Well, I have a way
to
to
get off this plane.
I choose death. And then it's a real shock when you discover that your soul is forever trapped in the mists of Barovia.
Thanks.
Well, I have a way of understanding or detecting what is in people's thoughts. So, there's an unintrusive way he doesn't have to say anything. We can just ask him the question, and I might be able to figure out what he's thinking. So if he feels like he can't say it, then there's other ways. I can probably hear what he's thinking.
Oh.
Obviously, I don't want to do that without the consent of yourself and him. But
and there's no ill effects. This won't hurt him at all.
No. Maybe just he'll might be aware that someone is having a read of his thoughts, but that's about it. So with a little bit of consent, might be okay.
I'm happy to give this a try, but if it looks like it's getting too much, I'm going to step in and put a stop to it. Understood?
Yeah, that is okay by me.
Okay. Yes,
I might need a bit of a rest before I can do that, though.
Oh. No, don't worry, Yeska. As you hear these little feet pattering back in. Oh, okay. It turns around and runs back away. Right. Well, yes. Well, I need to get ready for this evening's congregation. They'll be arriving soon. To spend some time practicing my speech for tonight. Do you have somewhere to stay in town? I can recommend the Blue Water Inn if you don't.
We have heard of this Blue Water Inn. We'll be going there as soon as we have concluded here, I believe.
Wonderful. I will ask him one question.
Yeah.
I'm really sorry to I know we're sort of ending our conversation, but why does a priest hold masses in the night in the name of the Morning Lord?
It's not a usual service. I've been forced into it. Normally, we would do dawn services to greet the morning light, but over the last few months, with the frequency of the attacks, we've had some problems with werewolves. The people are frightened to stay in their own homes, so a number of them seek protection of St Andral and want to stay here during the night. I was a bit reticent to just let people be in here unsupervised during the night, and so I've started doing morning congregations and evening congregations. It is taxing, and I am not sure how much longer I can keep this up, but it's the best I can do for these people. And I'm not sure how else I can help them. My words bring them comfort and a good night's sleep, which is a rare thing to be had in Vallaki.
So these werewolves, I look around and realize we don't have much coin or treasure. What is the situation on those werewolves?
I don't know very much, just that they've tested the town's defenses a few times. One of the guards was torn to pieces trying to defend us. They've taken a few villagers too, who have had the misfortune of being too close to the outer perimeter after dark. He leans into this. In fact, that's what happened to Yeska's parents. Looks like the wolves were trying to take him. They broke through the palisade wall when he was a bit younger, maybe 6 or 7, a few years ago. Breached the outer wall, ran into the homes and tried to take children. When his parents fought them off and managed to free him, they were brutally torn apart by these wolves. Yeska managed to escape and hide. I offered to take care of the lad.
Right. Well, it sounds like we've got a bit of potential work here.
You do seem significantly better than the priest in Barovia.
Thank you. I don't know much about the priest in Barovia.
Ismark snorts and Elizabeth goes, prick.
Oh, right, well, that's no good, is it?
Ismark kind of like gives a bit of a look, goes,
It's alright. He's with the guard now. He's probably been executed by now. Oh my.
He would not marry Ismark and his girlfriend?
he looks at you, Theodore, and then looks at Ismark, then looks at Theodore. And then sort of like,
well, I best get ready for the sermon tonight.
Do you mind if I do a quick little investigation, just in the crypt area? I want to see if there's any clues that were left behind by the perpetrator.
Oh, not at all. Just be careful down there. Try not to disturb any of the other relics and bones.
I shall treat it with reverence, Father.
Just out of curiosity, if we found the bones, you'd know by sight that these were the bones of St Andrew?
Not by sight, no, but I could perform a ritual, and I would know quickly whether or not they were genuine.
Okay. This is good to know.
Yes, there's a spell I can perform, ceremony. It's much more powerful when the bones are nearby. I can see the effects quite clearly.
I love Theodore's suspects. Miljevush, Fiona, Vistani, entire town. Oh my god. This is reminding me a little bit of the Avatar Legends, where we have detectives extraordinaire, Rung and Aal, the earthbender and airbender, who solve crimes by just stumbling upon things and having no clue. Getting real flashbacks to the detectives extraordinaire.
Well, we'll jump down into these crypts and be very careful of all the things down there.
Yeah, look, you lot go ahead. I think if you're going to spend a little time here, I might just meet you all back at the Blue What's It. I could use a fucking drink.
Here. We'll be right there, Grinner. We'll have a drink.
Ismark sort of gives a nod and goes,
I'm not particularly keen on rifling through dead people. Grinner, if you want some company, I'll head back to the inn with you.
Look, come along. I don't want the company, but you can sit nearby if you want to.
Oh, fucking hell.
Thanks. Great. Well, I'll just check in with Irina then, and maybe I'll meet you there, Grinner.
Yeah, alright. Grinner just wanders off.
Bye-bye, Gunnar.
Yeah, we need to hold an intervention for him.
Yeah, he's not grinning so much anymore.
I get the sense that nickname was always ironic.
No, he did seem pretty happy. And sometimes.
The occasional wholesome.
Yeah. Helped some children, ate some children.
Oh gosh.
We'll come around.
Well, I'm
keep on
gonna go check on my sister. I'll and Tithla. I'll let you know how she's doing.
All right, yeah, if you could take care of them for tonight, that'd be fantastic. We'll do some investigation. Meet back at the inn at not.
Hey, why?
time?
Yeah,
In the
actually,
evening,
why don't I stay? Why don't I stay in the church overnight? I can guard Tithla. I'm happy to do it.
Yes, thank you. That would be fantastic.
Done. It's the least I could do to repay you. Irina and I will keep watch and care of Tithla. We'll catch up with you in the morning. Hopefully the priest will have done some, I don't know, clerical shit and she'll be feeling better.
Yes,
I don't know magic.
Right.
I don't know magic. Is that how it works?
Yeah, his clerical shit, yes.
Yes. Great. Well, I'll see you guys later. Have a nice drink. See if I can break into the communion wine when the priest isn't looking.
My man. Revel it up.
Brilliant. As you guys descend down the ladder into the crypt below, the crypt is much, much smaller than the church, and much older as well. As you explore around and look through, the darkness is quite oppressive down here. No light makes its way down into this dusty crypt, apart from the thin beam coming from the lifted stone up above. You can see a display case, empty now, but almost like a glass coffin laid out with velvet on top. Underneath, directly underneath, where the altar would be above you. Around the walls you can see other smaller containers, probably of human remains. Would you like to make an investigation, survival, or perception check? Your choice. And I'll tell you what you see.
All of us? I'll go survival, given perception has just not been helping me lately.
Yeah, you can each roll a different check, and natural one.
I'm gonna bring out my monocle again to get advantage as I'm looking at.
Theodore, there's no tracks. There's nothing. You are just, as you look through this place, you're looking for like indentations in the mud. You're looking for broken twigs and leaves. You're looking for all the signs that you've learned to track animals through the wilderness. And it's like stone and dust, and you're just like, what? So you like kick the dust to try and look. You like brush the dust aside to see if you can find any like footprints, and then you're like, ah, shit, it's stone. I've just wiped away a footprint. And then as you stand up, your tail like swings around and wipes away more footprints. And as you look down, you go, oh, fuck.
I'll probably, at this point, as he's like ruining my crime scene, I'll be like, Theodore, could you actually go upstairs quickly and I think Arena, and see how Tifla's going.
I will go talk to Zemiliovosh.
Oh, that's not a bad idea. Just keep it really. Please be a bit more. What's the word?
Tactful.
Yes. Maybe don't be so direct.
Can do.
Dance around the subject and glean as much as you can. I know you love to dance and revel.
I will revel him with the words.
Because obviously, because Theodore is just ruining my crime scene.
Yes, Theodore climbs back up the ladder. As you look, you're like, there were probably fingerprints on that ladder. as Theodore just goes like, ooh, just like rubs all up and down the ladder as he climbs.
Came down probably. We were all coming down actually.
Yeah. 22, Luther. As you have a bit of a look around, you can still see the footprints. Oh, cantrip light for Luther. Yes. Good call, Jonor. Good call. Not that he needs it, but good call anyway.
That now means I can actually see within color because
really clearly.
Dark vision is only grays and stuff.
As you look around, Luther, you can see where the clasp has been undone to open up this glass coffin. No lock that you can see. First thing to your mind, you're like, well, fucking asking for it to be stolen, aren't you?
And not to mention they have it like on display.
But to be fair, underneath and hidden underneath a secret stone. As you have a bit of a look around, you can see boot prints. Definitely new in the dust, not from you guys, around the edge and towards the ladder. They look to be, maybe like a size 11 or 12 in Australian sizing, so quite a large booted foot. I know, I'm like trying to think of like how would I describe how big a foot is. I'm like, well, it's a foot.
The being size 11 or 12 and being boots, probably looking at more of like with D&D, there's so many different races, but more of a male, like a man.
If you're looking at a human, which most of Barovians are, most of the residents of Barovia are human. Only really Outlanders are different races. Barovia is quite a racist country. There's not many other races here. But as you look, probably a human male, judging by the boot. Not very heavy set, but the indentations in the dust and the little flecks of mud around the outside of the boot prints tell you someone who probably is quite strong, especially to lift up the stone above, would take a bit of strength. And as you have a bit of a look, you notice a very weird, almost triangular shape indentation of mud or collection of mud on the edge of the stone, as if something muddy in the shape of a triangle was laid down there. It's a very vague triangle with a curved surface, and it's muddier at the tip than it is at the base, as if someone's put down something that was a bit muddy. Or laid it against the edge of the glass coffin, at the stone at the edge of the glass coffin.
Okay. Triangular shape, laid down on surface, leaving a muddy outline.
Jonor, with a religion check of 13. As you have a bit of a look around, these are classic reliquaries. A lot of churches use this for holy men and holy women, as well as items of extreme value to their faith. They'll often keep them in a place below the chapel or around the chapel, and it provides legitimacy, shall we say, to some of the churches. Having a relic means that you are an important place. People will come to see that relic. Sometimes people will pay a tithe, which is quite nice, having a bit of extra money if you're the priest. So a lot of churches will have a reliquary of some sort with a number of relics that they've collected through the years and centuries. looking around, none of these seem particularly interesting. There's no sense you get of any other magically infused or special items of significance, of religious significance. And as you complete your sort of circuit around the edge of the crypt and have a look back at the dais, you don't get the sense there's anything else in here of any real value, magically or from a religious perspective.
It'd be quite obvious that the glass, the main centerpiece here, is in fact the St Andral, right?
Oh yeah, as you look, you can even see slight indentations where the bones would have been laid out.
Sure. Hey,
in the shape of a full skeleton.
Luther, I think we should. There's a couple of different bones in different containers around here. Have you had a look at some of the other ones as well?
Yeah, I haven't really
have a bit of a dig
yet, but by all means, I'll definitely have a look at them.
Could it be? Could there be something in there as well? If you have a little bit of a dig in there.
I guess I'll, at Jonor sort of ask me about these things. I'll start having a bit of a look, Owen.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'll use some of my tools that I have, not to touch them with my own fingers and to disturb them as little as I can, but I'll have a quick look in.
You might need to move them to be able to get a good look to see if there is anything there.
Yeah, I'll try my best. I don't want to disturb too much. But I guess I'll scan it. I'll scan it for like fingerprints first to make sure.
You have a bit of a.
Because
I'm
we're
happy to
obviously
take
not
your,
dealing with DNA, so.
Yeah, I'm happy to take your investigation check from before. As you have a bit of a look over the outside of these very small coffins and sarcophagi, no signs of any fingerprints on these. No signs of any disturbance. If you want to see more, you get the sense you're going to have to probably open them up and have a look.
That's fine. Because I'm not actually. Because obviously we don't have like our level of DNA, so like I'll not seeing any fingerprints on it. I'll just sort of this is medieval stuff, so I'll be able to sort of grasp it now without much problems.
I had a bit of a all the other sort of containers there were a bit dull, but this one you've got in your hand, I think, could have something interesting in it. Can you have a bit of a look?
Okay, when you say interesting, though, will something happen if I open this journal?
I don't think anything. Not that I'm aware of. No.
Okay. I trust journals, so I open a bit tentatively.
As you pry open the edge of the sarcophagus, there's a rush of air as the air is pulled into this thing, and a bit of a waft of stale air and dust emerges. And as you look in, you can see what look to be bones, not laid out like the bones of St Andral were. These are cluttered and messy, and inside you can see a glint of something golden reflecting off the light from Jonor's cantrip.
I was pretty sure I had a feeling there could have been something in there. What's that?
Yeah, we have a closer look at the golden thing, Owen. I probably would use some like tweezers, something to grab it, depending on how big it is. I would have a look at it, but I'm definitely not trying to take it.
Yeah, as you have a look in, Luther, peering in very, very carefully, trying not to be too disruptive. Could you actually make me a sleight of hand check?
Well, I rolled a 5, but it's +7.
12. You're trying to be extremely careful, and for the first little bit, you succeed. But then as you just get in, I'll say that as part of your investigator's kit, you'd have some tweezers, and as you reach in, and just as you're picking up this gold thing to have a closer look, it just slips out. You've only just picked up, just slips out and knocks one of the bones, and you watch as the bone just splits in half. This very old, ancient bone with not a lot of strength left to it splits. And then you quickly grab the gold thing again before lifting it up and looking, and you can see it looks to be some sort of holy symbol of Lysander. Brilliantly decorated, very, very gorgeous looking. Quite a bit nicer than yours. Looks very, very ornately made, but judging by the look of it, extremely old.
Oh man, that's something I've ever seen. Is that a cross or a symbol? Do you recognize it?
You said I have one, right, Owen?
Yeah, you've got one. It's quite similar to yours.
I flash you my one. It's a lot more less ornate. I have seen this before. Look, I'll be honest, Jonor. I think I'm definitely going to leave it. I'm not up for grave robbing.
Yeah, I mean it's understandable, but yeah, look, that's fair.
It was obviously interred with this corpse, so
This is a house
we're going
the will of Lysander.
So
Whatever's best for Lysander.
I reverently put it. I would. That's the take I think I would come to, Owen. I think grave robbing this. It obviously was interred with this corpse. So that just sounds like bad juju.
Definitely was deliberately buried with the corpse.
Oh yeah, no,
fair enough. No, absolutely fair enough.
It's not within my character.
Yeah, no, absolutely no, absolutely. That makes
what
perfect sense.
What I will do is I'm not gonna like roleplay this, but I put the thing back, noticing that I damaged the some of the corpse's bones. I'll probably go into prayer for like a minute and just try and sort of make like atonement or amends for, destroying some of that person's remains.
You don't feel any response or any connection to Lysander deep down in this crypt. You're not sure what that might mean.
Do I normally when I pray?
Sometimes.
Okay. I think I won't think much of it right now, but from what I've gathered though from the crypt, we have clues-wise the footprint. And what else did you glean, Tom?
It was mostly that and having a feeling about something there. I think that's about it.
All right, Owen, is there anything else for us to sort of glean down here?
Nothing else really down in the crypt that we've not discussed. Let's jump to Theodore.
Perfect.
Theodore, you wanted to talk to Emilievush, right?
Yes. So clop my way up the ladder and out of the chapel. I assume he's still milling about the grounds.
Yeah, you can actually see him currently weeding, his shovel propped up against the fence as he is pulling up large sections of thistle from around a rather old, decrepit-looking gravesite.
Yep.
As you approach, he looks up and goes, "Did you get help for your friend?"
Yes, thank you very much. The priest is able to help, not obviously completely, but he lacks the power to properly heal her, but he can make her comfortable for the time being before we journey on.
What do you mean lacks the proper power? What does that mean?
Well, he's not a skilled enough healer. He doesn't have the divine power to do this.
Right, okay. Fair enough. Can I help you with anything? Are you here to help me weed?
Yes, I can help you weed.
Oh, great. Well, look, there's these patches along here. Mind the thorns. Pull down at the base, get the roots too. Chuck them in a pile just over towards your left.
Yes, I'd start weeding with him.
You don't need to roll for that.
Roll survival? What do you want to see rolling that one?
Yeah, roll a survival check. Yeah, go roll survival
and get
check.
slashed on the thorns? Let's go.
Natural 20. Calling it now.
Still crap, but
12. No, you do an above average job. Just reach down, pull them out. Occasionally you miss a few of the nodes, but you just quickly put a bit of dirt on it so that he can't see that you've missed the roots. Keep it hidden. As a few of the stems break really close, you're just like, fuck, I'm not digging it up. Brush a bit of dirt over it so you can't see it.
It's so annoying when you get to nearly the base. I've got. Oh, that's such a bitch. It's so annoying.
Yeah. I've almost got it, and then it just tears the entire thing off, and you look down at the roots, you just go, well, GG. Well played, sir.
So much more annoying.
I see you fight for your life with gumption, weed. I respect that, and I back away.
CR4 weed.
Yeah. I mean, you help him weed, and together the two of you quickly start to make a bit of progress around this rather decrepit graveyard.
Milivoj, you mentioned something about bones being under this cathedral. What did you mean by this?
Well, there's a crypt, isn't there? Don't they keep lots of bones under churches like this?
I guess so, but I mean, then why points this out? It just struck me as odd, pardon me for saying.
You guys were asking about the priest. I told you why he was upset and worried. He's been muttering about bones for the last few days. A couple of nights ago, someone broke into the church, I think, and he's been worried about the bones ever since, whatever that means.
Someone broke in and stole the bones?
Yeah, the padlock on the front door of the church was broken off after he'd finished his sermon. I say night. It was early morning, well before dawn. Most people were asleep. Whoever it was just smashed the lock off.
Do you know anything about this? This is terrible.
No, I didn't see anything missing. I just assumed it was some frantic, desperate townsfolk from, I don't know, some other part of Vallaki panicking because some bat flew over their house. They knocked off the padlock and tried to hide in the church in the night. Like, as I said, I did an inventory of everything inside the church. There was nothing missing.
Ah, so otherwise the priest is concerned. He did seem a bit scatterbrained, I guess you'd say, frazzled.
Yeah, look, sometimes he is, but for the most part, fairly good guy.
Yeah, no, he seemed willing to help our friend, which is a good mark in his favor.
More than I can say for the other assholes here.
Yeah. Sorry, I know I have a lot of questions here, but there's a young boy in there. Yes, you know him?
Yeah, yes, because I look out for him. He lost his parents. Keep an eye on him, so he doesn't get into trouble. Yeah, he's a good enough lad. Gets along really well with my my younger brother and younger sister, so sometimes when he's not working for Father Lucian, he comes and hangs out with us, with my siblings. He's a good kid.
Yeah, he does seem like a very nice lad. I think our friend Tithla would have been good friends with him if she was not so
horrendously burnt.
Yeah, or, I mean, to put it lightly, yes. But the boy, he seemed to have something he wanted to share, but was afraid he'd get in trouble. I was wondering if you knew anything about it, so we could try to help him.
Oh, hasn't told me if there's anything upsetting him. I know occasionally he gets frightened at night, and given what happened to his parents, I'm not surprised. I know the kid hasn't slept alone in a very, very long time. He's terrified that if he does, something will come and take him. Much more than that, I don't know. Maybe saw a wolf or something outside town. I know last time that happened, he was too frightened to sleep for a week.
No, it seemed more like he had a secret. He was afraid he'd get in trouble, not that he was so much afraid of whatever it was.
Look,
but if you don't know, I just wanted to try to help the lad. He wouldn't tell us.
If he's not telling you, then he's not ready to tell anyone. Then just leave him be. He'll tell someone when he's ready. Probably come tell me when he's ready. I'll deal with it.
That's fair enough. He just seemed like he needed help, so I was trying to help. Can I roll an insight check to see if this guy's
yeah. Full of the shit.
Yeah.
Was that full of the shit?
Full of the shit. Is he full of the shit? Oh, 14. He might be full of the shit. The more you question, the more uncomfortable Miljovic is getting. More and more uncomfortable. It started off as a reluctance to talk and quickly became... Miljovic, sorry. Quickly became... What did I call him? Miljovic. Miljovic. It quickly... Miljovic. Millie. Yeah, Millie for sure. It quickly becomes almost a bit... Like, you can hear a bit of anger coming into his voice, particularly when you start talking about Jeska. And the more you start kind of probing into Jeska, Miljovic gets angrier and angrier. And he's controlling himself, but you can see that as he stands up and finishes his section of the weeding, he bends down and picks up his shovel and is grabbing it quite tightly by the hilt.
Is there anything else that needs doing in the garden? I have time to kill all my friends tend to the wounded one. I'm happy to keep helping.
You're welcome to keep weeding here if you like, but I've got to go deal with something in the tool shed.
Okay, by all means.
With that, turns, walks away, stomping across the ground.
I would like to try to follow him stealthily.
Would you like to make me a stealth check, please?
Would I have time to have rested between getting in, my ambulance bear running to the city.
I'd say that if you wanted to, it's hard to say whether you've had time for a full hour's short rest. Like the conversation with the church, probably not time for a full short rest.
Then
unfortunately,
then yes, I'll roll stealth instead of becoming a cat or something such.
Yeah.
Go -1 stealth.
Natural 20. Going now. Natural 20. No, that's 2.
I have not rolled well. I think I rolled above a 10 today.
As you get round the side of the church, you weren't expecting loose gravel, and as your ungulate hooves begin crunching on the loose gravel, you just watch as Milivoje turns around towards you, hefting his shovel a little bit. He's like, "Mister, back the fuck off, all right?"
Ooh.
I did not want any trouble, Mr. Milivoje. I was just looking around the grounds.
Strangers are trouble. That's our experience in Barovia.
This seems kind of xenophobic.
Yeah. I don't know what these big words are. What I can tell you is that when people come in, strangers from other places, you draw his attention. We don't need it here in Vallaki. I'm just trying to protect my friends. Get out of here.
Okay, but I was just wondering if I could get a trowel from the tool shed to better weed with.
No, I don't want you in the church or in the grounds anymore. Go find someone else to bother.
I don't think you are the owner of the church.
No, but I'm the owner of the grounds. I'm the keeper of the grounds.
A keeper is not the same as, owner. Is more like slave of.
You do what you want, but stay away from me.
Okay, I'll go get a trowel.
And he immediately storms off in the opposite direction, away from the tool shed. You can see the shed just over towards your left down this gravel pathway as he storms off towards the right, heading towards the back door of the church.
Alright, I go check out the tool shed, make sure there's no stashed bones.
Nice. Can you make me an investigation check? Or perception check, your choice.
You should go be perception then, despite that being my dud roll for the evening. Hey, there we go, we're back.
24.
Hey.
As you go through the shed, you look through very standard sheds. Some flower pots, some bags of dirt, some bone meal to help promote growth. But no human bones. Like we're talking like fertilizer, like clearly fertilizer.
Hey, yeah. St Andrew can become fertilizer.
That's true. No. Clearly not human bones.
Children can be pies. Saints can be fertilizer.
Yeah, so I shouldn't have said bone meal. I realized now the mistake.
Yeah, you
well, latching onto this now.
Yeah.
Take it back to the priest.
No, you misunderstand. It's a bone meal. You eat it. It's like the pie. You have to...
Yeah, Theodore comes in. Guys, I solved the mystery. Look.
Right, Moorish?
Oh, it's very Moorish. The Bones of St Andral. Oh, very Moorish. Fertilizer, pots, pans, tools, not much else.
Nothing like the church in there, the little secret undercroft?
No secret undercroft. The garden shed at the back is a very bog standard garden shed. Unfortunately, you don't find anything of interest.
Then I roll on out from there, just making sure, because I probed him and he stormed off towards that direction, just making sure he wasn't pulling a sneaky hide the evidence.
No, that's fair. You come out just as Luther and Jonor emerge from the front of the church, and together the three of you begin making your way towards the Blue Water Inn. Grinner.
Yeah. I fill him in on the way for everything.
I figured you share information.
Yeah, we'll share information. Yeah.
Grinner, you're heading for the Blue Water Inn, correct?
Yeah,
correct. Yep.
Brilliant.
BWI.
Yeah. The boy.
He's gonna drink his sorrows away.
Yeah. As you enter into the inn, you can see that the ground floor is actually rather large. It's quite a large area. There's a number of large tables, 3 circular tables in the center near the bar, along with a long bar with loads of bar stools set up and a couple of smaller private tables, as well as a set of stairs leading to an upstairs section. You can see there's a couple of locals already in position at their favorite or their standard seats. The bartender who's running around filling orders looks to be a slightly, I'd say, middle-aged to slightly older gentleman. Black hair, very sort of like feathery black hair tied back. And you can see as he sort of runs around filling glasses and serving food, he's a little bit what's what I'm looking for? Like, not rotund. That's a bit brutal. He's well padded as he moves around and begins serving food. And occasionally you can see two younger boys, maybe like 12 and 10, who look very similar to him. That very stark black hair, running around, bringing out food from behind the bar and serving it. You get the sense that probably this is a family business. There's a couple of commoners inside drinking and drowning their sorrows, much the same as you are. And as you step inside and walk through, you can see there are a number of other patrons, but there are a couple of seats that are free. There's also a balcony up above, the stairs leading up to a balcony. You suspect there's even more seats up above.
Okay, I'm going to go to the bar first.
Yep.
And just kind of lean up against it. Do they have their stock on display, or is it kind of one of those you ask and they go get it sort of thing?
There's a number of barrels that are tapped that have above them a couple of different labels. You can see that there are 2 wines marked with Wizards of the Wine, and then there's also one marked Ale.
Regular old ale.
Just ale. Yeah.
Good for what ails you.
Yeah. There's probably bottles and things like that, but these are just the ones that are on display behind the tap room.
Any spirits sitting on any shelves?
No, not visible, but looking at the long bar, you'd be very surprised if there weren't spirits underneath.
I'll wait for someone to come over to me, I guess.
Yeah, after a minute or two, the dark-haired man approaches, dries his hands on an apron, tucks it away, and goes, "Right, well, what can I get for you? You look like you're a bit hungry. A bit thirsty?"
Definitely thirsty, mate. Look, just whatever is strongest in a bottle and still has enough in it.
Right, well, I'll have a look. I think we've got some whiskey. Potentially, that'll wet your whistle.
Sure, that'll do, mate. Just whatever you got. That gin, I don't give a fuck.
And you're new here, so please don't take it as insult, but you're good for the money.
I lay down 10 gold. And
you're
say,
good for the money. I'll bring you as much as you need. But we'll settle tabs afterwards. There's no need for you to worry about that now.
Yeah, right. Just keep it coming. I'll be upstairs on the balcony.
He gives a bit of a pause and then looks back at the gold on the table and then looks at you. Can make an insight check.
He is.
You're planning on drinking yourself into a bit of a stupor tonight, am I right?
Does it matter if the gold's on the table?
It matters if you're going to cause a bit of a mess or cause problems for me and my children. I just need to know that you're going to be sensible. I don't care if you hurt yourself, just tuck yourself into a corner when you're done. Don't want any fights. You look like a fighter.
If I'm not bothered, I don't bother nobody. Alright?
I'm very pleased to hear that. Take a seat upstairs, I'll bring you a bottle. And he sweeps 5 gold off the table, goes, and I'll keep it coming. You're good, don't worry. I'll take care of you tonight, sir.
I look him in the eye and I just say, I'm not here to fight, mate. I'm here to fucking drown. And I go upstairs.
Okay.
Oh my god.
As you head upstairs, a bottle of amber whiskey is brought to you, a full bottle, and it is uncorked at the table for you and placed down along with a small glass. The upstairs of the tavern is deserted. Doesn't look like anyone else is actually sitting up here in the balcony for the moment at all. And as you sit down, there's only like 3 other small tables with like 4 or 5 seats at each. As you sit down and begin sort of sipping at your whiskey, you're surprised to find it is actually quite a nice whiskey. Hint of smoke, very smooth palate, but more importantly, strong as paint stripper as you begin downing this. As you get to your second shot, you hear the sound of someone walking up along the balcony behind you, and a chair is pulled out next to you, and a man sits down. You can see he's dressed in brightly coloured clothing, very similar to that of bards, some sort of performer. And as he sits down and looks at you and cocks his head a little bit, well, I think you have a tale to tell. I'd be keen to hear it if you have a moment. And that is where we're going to end for tonight.
Oh no!
Oh, it's going to end in a bar brawl.
Is that what you wanted, Grinner? A nice friendly chat in a bar?
Oh, tonight of all nights.
Brilliant.
All
Well,
right.
thank you so much for joining us, everybody. We will be back next Monday for more Curse of Strahd. Tomorrow night, Avatar Legends, and Wednesday night, Return of the Giants. Get excited, get hyped. I will see you all again in the future. But until then, stay safe, stay well. See you guys again soon. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Mwah.